Oh, jam! Hello again and welcome to the Mana Pool. This is episode 502 of the Mana Pool. And I forgot how to say numbers. 502, yes. I'll be alright.
Will you be alright?
I don't think so, actually.
Oh no. Stay on target.
All of our free promotion is being removed off of Magic cards. I don't know what to do with myself.
We had a good run, gentlemen. It's been an honor playing with you. Da, 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 da.
Did you just make a Titanic reference?
I did.
Oh my god, get off of the show. You had a good run, Brian. It's been an honor. Oh, wait. Anyway, so I am Chewy, the lead dork. With me, as always, are these other dorks. Hi, dorks.
Hey, I'm Brian. I'm the lead Rambler and Tangent Master. I'm the Rambler and Tangent Master. And if I was Dirk, I would be sad that I wasn't here to talk about previews. Spoiler alert.
I'm Mike. I'm the rules guy and the game lore guy. And I'm going to be throwing to an unexpected person next. Unless you listen to Brian's spoiler.
And I'm not Dirk, the self-proclaimed greatest man alive and moral compass of the group, because we already established I'm Chewy. Yes, Dirk probably won't be joining us because it was his. Okay, wait a minute. Whose birthday was it?
Lane.
It was
Lane.
It was his middle child's birthday,
Yes.
and he
His
said
younger son.
Yeah, and he said they were going out and didn't know when they'd be back, and we were like, "Well, that's cool, man, because family."
Yeah, and birthdays and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, way more important than this. I mean, if this was 500, I'd be like, you tell your son his birthday can wait, but I wouldn't do that. I would not do that.
He wouldn't do it on the air.
Not on the air, no. So, let's just jump right in. We've got a lot of nonsense that's happened since the last time we recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They made good on their promise. So they made us wait for Dominaria stuff. And lo and behold, we have Dominaria stuff. But before we get to that, we have other stuff.
Yeah, the signature spellbook, Jace, has been revealed. One, the packaging is sick.
Yeah.
It's very, very nice.
Like, I really like that. But the packaging is the least important part. Clearly. I also have killer hiccups all of a sudden. We've been talking for like an hour, no hiccups. As soon as I hit record, hiccups.
What's that damn hiccup button, right?
Maybe that is the hiccup button. I gotta stop that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, these are the...
Are these the spiritual successors to From the Vault?
That is exactly the sentence. Get out of my head.
And now I'm going to turn it over to Brian. Thank you.
But yeah, I don't know how limited a print run these will have. I thought at some point these were going to be available in big box stores, but apparently that is not the case. These are going to be... Hang on, I can go to the products page. Boom. These are... not... There's no information. Thanks. Thanks for that. But from what I understand, these are only going to be available to WPN stores. So
Nice.
The question becomes, how limited are these going to be compared to something like From the Vault? Like, are these going to be easier to find? Because, well, Mike, what was the MSRP on From the Vault? Do you remember?
I don't know.
I mean,
they rarely sold for that, so who knows?
Yeah.
You're the only person I know that actually bought them, so...
I mean, some of them were... Like, the very first one I got was From the Vault Dragons, which I think wasn't big box stores, so I think I did get that for $35 or whatever. But I have definitely paid not $35 for several others.
Yeah, but I think it was $35, correct. I think that's right. And these have an MSRP of $19.99, so $20.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there have been some complaints. Let's talk about the cards first. We've got Jace and some JC spells.
Yep. The original Jace, the OG Jace.
Yeah, and well, we didn't know that at the time. All we knew was signature spellbook Jace. But yeah, it's Jace Beleren, the original, the one that we all grew to love or hate, depending on depending on who was playing it, I guess.
Yeah.
But these all have a really cool new border.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I really dig, like, a lot.
Yeah. Like, a lot.
And some of the flourishes, you can tell, are customized specifically to Jace. So presumably other signature spell books for other planeswalkers are going to have their own more different cool frames too.
Like I would hope signature spellbook Chandra, aside from just being red and not blue, the frames would actually look different, you know?
Yeah, like I assume you're talking about the bit at the bottom, Mike.
Yeah, that's the most obvious one.
Yeah. So yeah, these have a different border with this neat little Jace-looking flourish at the bottom, which you just have to click on the link and go check. As always, everything's always in the show notes. But the font in the name and type line are both white, which means that the mana symbol is now also like a white stencil blue mana symbol, and it's so cool.
Basically those stencil symbols from the Amonkhet masterpieces. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the cards then, my friends?
Well,
so you mentioned Jace Beleren.
Yeah.
And besides that, we have Blue Elemental Blast, Brainstorm. I assume we're not going to read every one of these, right?
Well, no. Don't. How many of these have like new art? All but
everything
Counterspell.
Except Jace. No, everything except Jace Beleren and Counterspell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Blue Elemental Blast art, that's new. Brainstorm art is new. The Counterspell art was from Jace versus Chandra.
Yes.
And then we also have...
Does it look like it's been touched up for some reason?
It might have.
It might
be the frame.
Yeah.
Oh, it could be the frame. Because it just looks like he's a darker blue and like the red highlights around him seem different than what my brain is telling me. Let me look it up real quick.
They could have adjusted the color a little bit. And Gifts Ungiven, Mystical Tutor, Negate, and Threads of Disloyalty.
No, it's the frame. That's exactly the same art.
Okay.
On the Counterspell. Okay. Yeah, the darker frame around it just makes it seem different.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Gifts Ungiven art kind of just trips me out a little bit.
I like that there's a Jace for the gifts and a Jace for the part that there's the gemstone and there's the little rolled up parchment. It's like, which one do you want? So,
well, remember, for Gifts Ungiven, you get two things. So he's giving you the two things you found.
Ah, that's true.
So yeah, we don't know. Now, there is one more thing. The complaints about these. So there are 8 cards in the set, right?
Yep.
Yes.
You get the Jace, you get his 7 spells. There's a 9th card in each package that is a foil of one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So you're going to get 2 of one of these, and it's random which one it is, and the extra one will be a foil. Let me guess, is the complaint that somebody's going to get a foil Jace and somebody else is going to get a foil Negate, perhaps?
Well, I think
so.
So of course this is the same.
Dude,
complaint.
I would play the hell out of this foil Negate.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you would, but I'm just wondering if that is a complaint. I'm not complaining, but
the complaints I always see about stuff like this is it's a money grab. And so this was, I forget who it was, but someone in particular on Twitter, when these were first previewed, I was like, holy crap, this looks sick. And someone's response was, well, yeah, if you ignore the foil lottery. And I'm like, okay, you cynical bastard. And there was a response of, well, from the vault, you just got all the foils. Now you have to like buy a bunch or,
if you
buy
want
a secondary market if you want them all. And I'm like, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called like every Magic set.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean,
like, what?
I think his point might be they have set up the expectation from the vault that when you get them, they're all foil. And I mean, I get that, but this is not from the vault Jace. This is a new product. If you don't want all of these foil, you don't have to get them all foil. If you do want them all foil, then that, like you said, that is on you. Is that going to be more expensive? Yes. But then I have to question, then, if you really have a problem with that, do you have to have all the foil? Let's just actually take a step back.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. And I think people are like, well, if you want it and you can afford it, do it. Do I wish that I had 4 Jace the Mind Sculptors? Sure. Am I sitting around thinking it's not fair that I don't have 4 Jace the Mind Sculptors because I can't afford them? No, I don't. And because all of these are literally reprints, you don't have to have any of these. Like, if I wanted to play Jace the Mind Sculptor in Modern, I would have to physically own Jace the Mind Sculptor. If I want to play any of these cards, I can use any of these versions to play.
Yeah,
which
like,
means
I got a box of counter spells. Like,
yeah.
like
And
Jesus.
Yeah, and some of them, like Gifts Ungiven, will probably be a little harder to acquire. I get that, but I don't have to have this copy of this card in foil. And if you do, if you have to have it, then save up for it. You can try the lottery, or you can go online, and I'm sure eBay or Star City or somebody will have them, and that's that. And I have to question the whole need here, you know.
Yeah, and the comparison to From the Vault doesn't make as much sense, because for From the Vault, yes, all of those cards were foiled. That means that edition of that card only existed in foil anyway. And personally, that made me care less about the fact that it was foil, because who cares?
Okay, so you're saying this almost feels like the rares are more special because they don't all have to be foil. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it feels like the foils are a bonus rather than a detriment.
The fact that there are foil and non-foil foil versions actually does make the foil versions more special, unlike in From the Vault where it didn't matter.
Yeah, every From the Vault version of whatever was foil, regardless. Yeah, I get you.
But I guess at the same token, then, for some people, knowing that something is out there and that is quote unquote the best version of that card, they then feel like anything else isn't going to be as good. I'm not saying that this is correct. I'm saying that this is the mentality, whereas you guys are approaching it from, hey, that's a bonus. It's cool. It's a little extra special. Some people are going to go, then that's the one I want. They turned can into have to.
And I do understand coming from the direction that stuff like this is made for collectors. So a super serious collector is going to want the foil version if one exists, and not having all of them be that way makes it more difficult to do it. But again, we'll go back to something we touched on before. If you really have to 100% something, it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah,
it's gonna take time and or money and or effort.
Yeah. So, but we got a lot more to talk about. Is there anything else to say about this other than?
I don't think so.
Cool.
Yeah, I think they're really freaking sweet. And I really hope that these are closer to the MSRP than some of the From the Vaults. Like, I hope the print run on these is just bigger than From the Vault.
Yeah.
But there's no way of knowing that until it freaking comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also like some of the additions of the new flavor text here. I'm really loving the Brainstorm flavor text. I have a plan. Actually, I have 3. And
wow, I did not see that.
It's very Jace-y, because that's kind of how he operates. So,
and I love his Jaya Ballard style flavor text on Blue Elemental Blast.
Yeah.
Contrary to popular wisdom, I find it's best to fight fire with its opposite. I see what you did there.
Whereas Jaya Ballard would just be like bigger fire all the time. Forever.
I've got more fire.
But that very
the red elemental blast in signature spellbook. Chandra is just going to say, "Shut up, Jace."
but that I agree with you. I do think it's Jaya Ballard-ish in that it's very frank and very just
kind of cocky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so that's signature spellbook, Jace. Again, if you guys haven't seen this somehow, link is in the show notes as always. Now.
Yes. Now,
you know what? I think actually we should segue that into the buy a box thing because of premium versions that you can only get in one place that have people going. So
are people really upset about this?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So there's lots of Dominaria news. A good chunk of it we actually talked about last week, but just to follow up from the signature spellbook, I wanted to talk about first off the Dominaria buy a box promo, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mike, why don't you tell us what Firesong and Sunspeaker does?
Okay.
Be doing.
Yes. Be like it is. But they do.
But they do.
Yeah. Firesong and Sunspeaker is 2 characters on 1 card. Legendary Minotaur Clerics. Costs 4 red and a white for a 4/6 with some pretty cool abilities. Red instant and sorcery spells you control have lifelink.
Nice.
The red ones have lifelink.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever a white instant or sorcery spell causes you to gain life, which it probably will, Fire Song and Sunspeaker deals 3 damage to target creature or player.
Yeah.
So your red burn spells gain you life, and your white life gain spells burn.
And it's kind of, I can almost picture one of the Minotaurs doing one ability and the other one doing the other thing. And it's really a neat effect. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason people are annoyed is because it does not appear in booster packs of Dominaria.
Yep. It is.
Not in booster packs, not in bundles. It is the Buy a Box promo.
And
the other
I think that's the part that bothers me, because that means this is a $100 card.
Yeah, basically.
Unfortunately. Well, I mean, you're getting a box.
True, but...
And if you have no interest in this, if you want to pre-order a box and that you can trade it away, or simply wait to get a box later, or, not buy a box at all, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to the shop and buying a $100 card and then losing the booster box and the couch cushions.
And also, I would think
still have that.
Unless this card... Okay. Unless this card...
I'm going to mute it!
Unless this card proves to be a powerhouse in a constructed format, then I think there will be enough copies being sold back to card stores and distributors that you should hopefully be able to pick one up. So if you really just want the card, I don't think it will cost you $90 or $100. If you want to make sure you want one, you get one, and you want to buy a box of Dominaria, which, I mean, we're like all of 10 cards in and the set looks amazing. Just, my own bias here. But yeah, I would be like, oh, cool, here's an extra card with my box. That's how I would look at it. So,
yeah, and, think about how many buy a box promos you've seen sitting in whatever binders. Unless it's something like Birds of Paradise, no one has really cared.
Mm-hmm.
So they found a unique way to make a buy a box promo that more people would care about.
Yeah.
And it's not something that's super crucial it's not something that's going to be super crucial for any format. It's something that's going to be really fun for Commander and Casual.
Yeah. And so I think this is one of these ways where they actually make the promo worthwhile. And that's, of course, a very dangerous line to walk, because if you make it too good, people are going to cry foul and say, oh, I have to buy this. And if you make it awful or just terrible, then people won't care about it, So it's probably better, honestly, to make it a little better than a little worse, or doing what they did here is perfect, where it's interesting and cool, but it's not broken in any way. So it catches your eye and makes you go, hey, and if you want this, then you might go the extra mile. Kind of like what we were talking about. If you really need to have it, then, here's how you do it. You pre-order a box. And what this also says is, if you pre-order a box for the first time, or at least for the first time that I've ever been playing, you'll actually get it at the pre-release. That's cool, because usually you pre-order a box and then you go to the pre-release and you're like, hey, this set's pretty awesome. And, I have to wait a week to get it. And usually most stores, at least in my experience, if you want to pre-order a box, you have to pre-order a box before the pre-release, because as soon as the pre-release is over, you have everybody saying, oh, I want it. And the store has to be able to say, we've already, made our allotment. But here it's like you show up.
Wait a minute.
Yes. What, did I say something wrong?
I don't know. I was only kind of paying attention because
I just kind of ignored where he was going for it. It wasn't making sense, but it doesn't.
Okay.
So it says, simply talk to your local store and let them know you'd like to pre-order a box of Dominaria for pickup on pre-release weekend. I don't think that means you're going to get the card in the box on pre-release weekend. I think it means that you can go on pre-release weekend
for
to
pickup.
Order a box for pickup.
No,
for pickup.
Wait a minute.
For pickup.
They're not going to give you a box of the set before the set releases.
There was something else I read somewhere else today that very clearly said it meant that.
All right, second paragraph.
Get it at the pre-release.
For second paragraph, for Dominaria, you can now pick up a full display booster box of the Return to Magic's Home a week early! !
What?
If you pre-order, this is what RTF article, Chewy. If you pre-order a booster box of Dominaria from your local game store, you can take it home pre-release weekend, April 21st to 22nd.
Huh.
Draft with friends. See, that's where I thought we were going with this. I know that the card stole a whole lot of the thunder of people, but I saw that first part and I was like, eee!
Okay, I legitimately did not read any of that part because I usually don't read the full text of these articles because it's blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing you want to know and here's the information you want. That's crazy.
See. Now, again, the card takes a lot of people's attention, especially when they have a little blurb down there about, like, we're really interested in the implications for Brawl. What's Brawl? We'll talk about that tomorrow, and we'll get to that in a bit. But so there's a lot at the second half of this paragraph that makes you forget about the first half. But for someone like me, I was like, hey.
He was like, hey, and then he broke something.
I did.
Okay, well, I apologize because I did not read that.
And that's maybe why you guys were like, what's he going on about? So
sorry, I was reading Fire Song and Sunspeaker from the top of the Brawl article. I didn't go to the buy a box pre-order promotion article.
Okay.
So I didn't see the paragraph that Brian was talking about.
But you knew you had read it, so you're
I knew I read it yesterday, and now I recognize this article.
Whereas I'm like, I'm looking right at it, guys. Come on. And Chewy's like, they can't do that. That's crazy. Are you hear that? That's crazy.
I didn't say they can't do that. I said they wouldn't do that. Turns out I was wrong on both counts, but
they are all about, like, they are pushing this pretty hard. And they want you to buy it, and now if you buy it, you even get it early. So
RTFA, my friends. RTFA. Read the friendly article. Okay, so that's that.
That's that.
And that's pretty neat.
So that is our first dip into Dominaria. Do we want to cover the mechanics next?
Yeah, let's do... Yeah. Okay, Aaron Forsyth wrote an article about all the stuff we talked about last week.
Mm-hmm.
Let me start at the bottom. Let's see, the
yes, we need to talk about
the Planeswalker redirection rule. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes into way more detail probably than we did. Again, I haven't read any of this. I skimmed over it and said we talked about that.
Well,
we talked about that.
He goes into way more detail because we just had speculation on what their initial comments meant.
Right.
Yeah.
He expands more on what their comments actually meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
he actually mentions Walking Ballista instead of Triskelion. So.
Well, thank goodness. So is there anything in there that we should...
We talked about Planeswalker. We talked about this spell.
No, in the Planeswalker redirection.
Oh, okay. No.
So I think the first sentence of each of these bullets, things that read target creature or player will be changed to any target.
Right.
But that's going to be understood to mean any target is going to be understood to mean creature, player, or planeswalker. Things that read target player will be changed to target player or planeswalker. Things that read target opponent will be changed to target opponent or planeswalker. And they'll get a slight functional boost that lets you target your own planeswalkers if you really want to.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, things that deal damage but don't call for a target won't get changed.
And it still
except
says,
for Vile Smasher,
except for Vile Smasher, but they still didn't tell us what they are.
Yeah, I know.
But you were right, Mike.
But
he did say
specify,
Earthquake. Yeah.
Yeah, he does specify Earthquake, Price of Progress, blah, blah, blah. Can't damage planeswalkers anymore.
Hazoret, which is important because Hazoret is still in Standard. So Earthquake and Price of Progress you haven't seen in a while. But
yeah, that actually significantly changes Hazoret's functionality.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh, okay, so if things don't target, so like Siphon Soul, just to go back to a classic from all of us, you can't redirect that to planeswalkers now, whereas you could previously.
Right. I can't remember whether Siphon Soul dealt damage or said lose life, but yes.
Siphon Soul deals damage.
Okay, yes, correct. You can't redirect that to planeswalkers. You can't take it from planeswalkers anymore.
Oh, that's okay. That's good to know. So anything that doesn't target is not getting the new erotic. Got it. Okay, that is very important.
Yes.
And changes a lot of cards.
Yeah. And just to back up a bit, the target opponent stuff that's where part of the effect depends on some information about that opponent isn't going to change. It won't be able to target planeswalkers.
Right. Like, it says what? Sudden impact? Yeah, deal damage to a player equal to the number of cards in their hand. Since planeswalkers don't have hands, that won't work. Right.
Right.
So yeah, that's just a reiteration of most of the stuff we talked about last week, now spelled out for real by Aaron Forsyth. Nice.
Yes.
Okay. Good to know. So what is this? This spell thing? Yep, we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And again, to clarify, just in case there's any confusion, this is only for things that reference themselves while they're on the stack.
Yeah.
Like
We'll talk about how to cast them.
Yeah, the example here is Talara's Battalion that says cast this spell only if you've cast another green spell this turn. Makes sense. The singular they, that's easy.
Removal of the mana pool or your mana pool.
Yeah, no more mana pool.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, this is the only thing that we didn't talk about.
Yeah, these two things.
Well, we did mention the line between the rules text and the flavor text, which now that I can see it, looks really cool.
I actually thought it was going to be a lot more bold, and I actually like how subtle it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, of course, my mind jumped to the way it was shown on Portal cards.
Yes, and
which is pretty obvious.
And he even said that they took it borrowing something from the original Portal, the 1997 set, not the upcoming phone app.
Oh, right.
Right. Anyway. So yeah,
they show that on Ethereum Sculptor here. And all the cards in this article are from the Elves versus Inventors dual decks.
Yeah,
so
which is pretty cool.
But yeah, the only thing we didn't talk about was the legendary card frame.
Because we didn't know about it. Or if we did.
Yeah, I didn't read it in the release notes if it was there.
And I didn't read the release notes.
So yeah, of the legendary... is it legendary permanence?
I think it's just legendary creatures.
Yeah, legendary creatures. I don't think it's on planeswalkers.
Yeah.
I think it's on the legendary sorceries.
Which cards were legendary and which weren't? Title bar of the card.
A crown-like embellishment around the title bar of the card. Oh.
All legendary cards other than planeswalkers. They look different enough already.
Oh, okay. So it is all legendary cards. So lands, artifacts, all that good stuff, creatures. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's this, okay, so for those of you that play Hearthstone, this was the first thing that popped into my head, and I apologize, but all of the legendary...
It's very relevant.
Yeah, all of the legendary cards in Hearthstone have a very specific top of the card. It's like a dragon thing.
It looks like a dragon to me, too.
Yeah, it's just there, and it makes a legendary just pop. You know it's legendary as soon as you see it. Now, in Hearthstone, legendary is also a rarity. So it's not entirely necessary, but it still makes it pop. Whereas here, you can have legends of any rarity, any whatever, and any card type. So now we get this little thing at the top. I don't know how to describe it. They call it a crown-like embellishment.
Yeah.
And
a flourish.
It's a flourish at the top of the frame.
Like crown molding.
It's like crown molding. Yeah, if you're flipping the house, be sure to get that crown molding in there.
But it's great because you're flipping through a pack and you see it and you go, ooh, yeah. Or
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Or if you're just looking across the battlefield. So.
And I think it'll help since this is a set that's going to have uncommon legendary creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently legendary is going to be a theme of the set, which we'll get into in greater detail in just a minute. But
yeah, well, I mean, he even says that in this article. Heck, the tagline is "Gather Legends." Oh yeah.
And this embellishment is on the buy a box promo that we just talked about.
Yep.
So there you go.
So yeah, if you haven't seen it, go look. Like the only complaint that I've heard is at first glance it just looks like a misprint or like somebody took a bite out of the card, and I'm like, well, yeah, but we will get used to it quickly, and $5 says we're going to grow to depend on it.
Yeah. And then if they ever take it away, or if you look at an old one after about 2 years of having this, you're going to be like...
It's going to be weird. Yeah.
Not to mention, I think that we're looking at it on the computer. Looking at it in person always is a different sensation.
Very much so.
Yeah. I mean, when I first saw it, of course, I stopped and considered for a moment the topic of, just Hearthstonification in general, but then I thought, so what?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
if there's no shame in, I don't want to say ripping people off, that is, but if there's a good idea out there and your product makes more sense with it, but it's
not patented.
And it's not patented, then, you wouldn't say, man, this car would work a lot better with with an engine in it, but everybody else uses engines, so I guess I'm going to do something else. You know,
Get those hamsters. Come on. Dana, get the hamsters. Dana fell asleep again. Anyway.
all right. Is that it for this article?
Going back to the Hearthstonification, like every card game or collectible card game that exists now borrowed from Magic heavily because Magic started
ripped
the whole
something
thing.
off of Magic.
Yeah. So, and we're not saying that. Well, they
Now
saw
it's
that
time
Hearthstone.
to rip back.
Yeah, we're not saying. Well, they saw that Blizzard did it and they're ripping that off. No. We don't know that. It's not a thing at all. We're just saying we play Hearthstone a lot, so that's what popped into our heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the embellishment at the top of the legend cards.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
Time traveling Blizzard developers. Ripped it off from
Those
Magic.
bastards. But yeah, this looks good, and I think once we all play with it for a set or two, we won't even think about it anymore until we play with older cards, and we'll be like, this is weird without it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. Okay, that's everything in this article?
Yep.
It is. Also, there's a link in this article to the Dual Decks Elves versus Inventors card image gallery. You should go check that out too. Actually, I'll just put a separate link in the show notes for that. Screw it. Bam. There we go.
Yeah, that was neat to see. I don't think they've done that before. For Dual
I
Decks.
don't think they have. Ooh, are there any legendary artifacts in this set? There are not. Damn. It's going to be, I want to see what it looks like on an artifact, but no such luck just yet. Anyway, so that is that.
At first, I actually stopped and thought, wait a minute, Goblin Welder doesn't have it. I'm like, Goblin Welder isn't legendary. Idiot.
Yeah, it's just
It just
busted.
feels legendary.
All right, so now we've got the mechanics articles.
Yes. I'm sorry, I waited like a week and a half for this, which was still early, but yes.
So they start off with the thing we've seen already, the sagas, but we have a new saga.
We do.
Yeah. Wait, have you guys read this?
Yes.
Mike, did you read this card?
Yes.
Okay,
Dirk's not
I
here,
didn't, so I'm going to read it now.
All right.
The Flame of Keld. Ooh. Did you guys see the map?
Yes, the map is awesome.
So cool.
It was awesome.
Right?
It still remains awesome. So, yeah. It was at the beginning of the first story article.
Oh, it was? Okay. I saw it on Twitter and I went, oh, that's so sick. There's a map of Dominaria now. Like, they've actually drawn out where everything is. And that's so cool. Anyway.
It's very well done.
The Flame of Keld. For 1 and a red, it's an uncommon saga. Neat. So remember, as this saga enters and after your draw step, add a lore counter and sacrifice it after 3, right? Got it. Okay, 1. Discard your hand. So that's just what you do when you play it. You discard your hand. Okay? 2. Draw 2 cards. So that the next turn, you get 3 cards that turn.
Yep, because you're going to get the one from drawing just for the turn and then 2 more.
Yeah. So, okay, that's cool. It's a very red vibe of discard your hand now and draw more later. Makes sense, okay. And then 3. If a red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player this turn, it deals that much damage plus 2 to that permanent or player instead. So first turn, you dump your hand. Second turn, you draw more cards. And then third turn, your fire does more fire.
Yeah.
That's a very Keld thing to do.
Yeah. I think I didn't read the symbol on my first run through, and I was like, this seems really cool, but I don't know if it's on the level of Phyrexian Scriptures.
Yeah,
and
you're correct.
And I saw the uncommon. I'm like, okay. So then I took a step back, and I'm like, if you build around this correctly, this is crazy. Because where this goes is in a deck with a ton of cheap burn.
I mean, it's even good for making a big attack after you hit the
also true.
number 3.
But I'm almost afraid though, because then you've got to play anything that doesn't have haste on the turn 2 of this, which in theory you've drawn it. But I think I'm personally more partial to the burn, because you can dump your whole hand early by just burn, and then this is one of the last spells that you play, and you've already emptied out your hand, and then you get more and throw it at your face, and it's a lot more. I'm not saying that your way is incorrect at all. I'm just saying this is kind of where my mind went. But that is a good point, because it does say if a red source you control. So creature, planeswalker. Chandra loves this, like, a lot. Like, a lot.
Yes, you do. So, let's see. What does he say about sagas? Every saga has 3 chapters. Okay, that's good to know.
Which we talked about last week as far as whether or not there would be. So, at least now, there is.
Yeah, and he said some sagas have the same effect for multiple chapters. So that's interesting.
Could be like, first chapter, draw a card. Second chapter, draw another card. You know? So
yeah, let's see. You do add a counter for the lore, so proliferate does do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
He also says here, if you add more than one, you actually trigger each chapter ability as you go along. So it's not like you skip one.
Yeah, I was surprised to read that. I'd be interested to see like what the. Yeah. I'd be interested to see how that's written into the technical rules for it.
It says here in the second to last paragraph, the last full paragraph, in some unusual cases, you might add more than one lore counter to a saga simultaneously. This can happen with effects like the one on Doubling Season. If that happens, take note of what chapter you started on and where you end up. Each ability in between, including the one where you end up, will trigger. And this will actually allow you to put them on the stack in either order. He says, of course, like with Flame of Keld, if you want to draw 2 cards and then discard your hand, it's not advised, but you could do it. So,
oh, you can put them on the stack in either order. Oh, okay.
Because they're on the stack at the same time. So,
yeah.
But again, there may be a preferential way to do that. So, I feel bad for anybody that plays the Flame of Keld, discards their hand, and the opponent says, naturalize. Because that's going to be a thing. You have to, I'm thinking with this set, if you see sagas as low as common and as high as mythic, enchantment removal and artifact removal for a reason we'll get back to in a minute could be worth main decking. So, but then hopefully if you're doing that with the Flame of Keld, hopefully if you're playing it, you're not tossing your best stuff in the hopes that you'll get what you need. So,
yeah.
Anything else about sagas?
They're awesome.
They seem really cool.
We've seen a total of 2, and I'm sold.
How much would you love to have the Flame of Keld art as like a background on your phone? Because just
not as cool as the Phyrexian Scriptures, but it's up there.
I don't know. I think it's got its own charm. So
nice.
Is there something going on in the? I have to tilt my screen a very specific way to see it. There's a watermark in the text box. Maybe not a watermark, but there's some design going on in the background.
There is
text box for Flame of Keld.
There is. Is it like almost looks like a clock? No.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know. The other one, Phyrexian Scriptures had the eye.
That's true.
Yawgmoth,
It had Yawgmoth symbol on it. That's right.
So maybe this is some symbol unique to Keld.
Uh-huh.
So.
Okay.
All right.
Hang on.
I think it might just be a small piece of the art.
I'm checking the Gamepedia to see if there's any sort of symbol of Keld, and I'm not seeing one there. It's possible that they've made one.
Maybe, yeah.
I think this is just something that's supposed to evoke the main art. Okay. Anyway.
Good catch, though. I completely didn't even think about that. Neat. Okay, so next up is a thing that I have some misgivings about. Historic. This one I was like, huh? Okay, so historic, it's a new game term. Historic is a way to collectively refer to the following things. Artifacts, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that is legendary.
Mm-hmm.
And sagas.
Mm-hmm. Thought it was interesting that they didn't include planeswalkers.
Planeswalkers are legendary.
Oh, look at that.
That was changed with Ixalan?
With Ixalan.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I get. So,
So, but it's the fact, and lots of people got all cutesy and were like, well, it's one type, one subtype, and one super type. That's cute. Shut up. It refers to one very specific kind of enchantment, one thing that makes sense, legendary stuff. I understand the sagas and the legendary, but calling all artifacts, like all artifacts falling under that, just something about it pokes my brain and doesn't stop. It's like, no.
I thought about it.
And I don't know why.
I think probably the issue with that is that there's been such a proliferation of artifacts, especially due to some of the sets in Magic. Think back to what the term artifact actually means, though. And I'm thinking back to like early Magic as well as the English definition of the word artifact. An artifact is not, in most uses, it's not a can opener. And unfortunately, I think some sets like Mirrodin, you see 5 bone splitters, around every corner, and you go into a store and you order a Loxodon Warhammer with a side of cheese. So you kind of get used to it. But think about the artifact as this thing you've uncovered, and it's this mystical woohoo's it from ages past. It's literally an artifact. Think of the Ark of the Covenant. So I see what they did here. And I definitely see where you're coming from as far as how they have used artifacts in Magic's history. But just I'm thinking about what the term means and kind of where it started. And I guess I'm okay with it. I have a little misgiving about it, but not enough to make me go, well, I hate that, or, well, that doesn't make sense. What do you think, Mike?
I agree. I thought that I kind of had to go, I get it for artifacts, because especially with something as recent as Kaladesh, all the artifacts in that set were amazing new shiny things.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't these old, shrouded in myth and legend things that someone found in a forgotten tomb. You know.
And I think maybe because that's probably the flavor they're going to go with Dominaria.
Yes.
Then I think it makes more sense en bloc. So far, from what we've read of the story, this feels very much like a bit of early Zendikar minus the Eldrazi, where you've got these places and these artifacts and these objects from ages ago that are being uncovered, including in that very first story that we read, which I don't want to spoil too much of because it is fairly new. But, Agent of the Cabal uncovered a very historic object with some name recognition to it for anyone that's been playing for a long time, like Mike, that make you go, ooh. But the difference I see here between this and Zendikar is that with Zendikar, they make references to, objects and places that we've never heard of. And here it's objects and places and things that are ingrained in Magic history. So I think it makes sense in the context of the block. Once you start going outside the block and how they've used it, I think you're especially on point with Kaladesh. Then you're kind of like, you kind of have to like squint your eyes a little bit to make it work. But in the block, I think it's probably fine.
Yeah. It's going to make a lot more sense there, yes.
And I'm hoping that this doesn't mean that there's like artifacts everywhere.
Like everything you guys just said is fine, but I think it's the fact that this game term means like a tiny subset of things, another subset of everything, and then this huge chunk of the game. Like that just bothers me for some reason. That it's
and that's
like it's not a flavor thing. Is the reason it bothers me. It's a scale thing.
And it also felt a little clunky to me for that reason at first glance.
Yeah.
And it's going to take some time to finish getting my head around it just playing.
But I think I kind of doubt that the historic game term is going to become widespread.
No, I'm pretty certain it's for Dominaria.
It's for Dominaria only.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to let it bother me.
Yeah.
Like enough
And
to be like, that sucks. This thing sucks. But it bothers me just enough for me to bring it up.
And something that I think is really interesting here in the context of this discussion, as well as thinking about these mechanics going forward, Dominaria is our first, in a long time, our first one set block, which I actually kind of like. As much as I like what I'm seeing, I don't have to wonder, what's going to be the tweak on historic? What's going to be the tweak on sagas? This sort of thing. They're going to get to do the stuff they really want to put out there in this set. And we don't have to see how that stuff is really kind of stretched and molded. While that can always be interesting, we're getting the most pure example of what they wanted to put out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So,
and they are allowing themselves the option of, continuing something from one block to another if they feel like it and if it would fit. But but there's no... Yeah. They don't have to. They're not tied down to anything they do.
And I feel like historic, while that could be a term they reuse depending on the set, given everything we've been learning about Dominaria and the whole homecoming and stuff like that, then I feel like this is one that we probably will not be seeing more of, at least not right away, and not in great numbers. So,
yeah.
All right, we got 2 preview cards here.
All right, what is that rarity symbol? Are those...
I think that's the common symbol.
That's common.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess
because we saw an uncommon. We saw the uncommon with the Flame of Keld. So.
Oh yeah, I can scroll up. Oh, okay. Now I see the difference.
I still haven't completely figured out what that symbol is.
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out.
That has been a thing in old sets where they don't tell us what the hell we're looking at, and then later we're like, "Oh, it must be the oh my god!" Like Mirrodin.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess we could sort of tell that it was the Sword of Kaldra, but we didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. Well, what have we got here? Somebody read the bird.
All right, this is the Sarah Disciple. For 1 and a white, it's a common bird cleric. It's a 1/1 with flying and first strike. Actually, that's pretty good for 1 and a white.
Yeah.
Also, whenever you cast a historic spell, Sarah Disciple gets +1/+1 until end of turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a bit of early evasion with first strike. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It might get a little bit of pump. I think the thing with historic, the question is going to be how often is that coming up? And even if the set has a good number of legendaries, just because of the way you have to build your deck, it's not like I think you're going to be getting this off every turn. But then if you play an artifact-heavy deck that maybe has artifacts from other blocks, then this becomes a very interesting build-around-me kind of thing.
Yeah, I think where people will be looking for opportunities for ridiculousness is with just triggering things off of playing a bunch of artifacts in 1 turn.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And then we've got another one here, Guardians of Koilio. The caves. Yeah, Koilos.
Yeah, the caves.
Which is not just the cave. The caves are a part of Koilos. For 5 mana, it's a 4/4 artifact creature construct, also common. When it enters the battlefield, you may return another target historic permanent you control to its owner's hand. And this, I think, is very interesting because it has a lot of synergy in the block, presumably, but also outside the block. This is something I could easily see sliding into your commander deck if you want to be able to reuse enters the battlefield effects. So, yeah.
Yes.
And then limited a 5/5 for 4. And it does say, a 4/4 for 5, not a 5/5. Wow, that's ridiculous. It also says, unlike, for example, the White Mane Lion or anything, it's not that you have to do it. You can do it. You may do it. So it's not required.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of abilities that you may or may not want to do.
Woohoo! It's the return of Kicker, because of course it is.
Because just everything is a Kicker variant, right? So let's straight up just do Kicker, because Kicker is awesome. And if you think I'm wrong, I will fight you in the street, because Kicker is just so clean. It's just so clean. You get it. You see what it does, and
as the kids on Twitter say, Kicker is great, don't at me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't at Brian because Brian doesn't have a Twitter account, so you'd be adding me, and I don't want to hear it.
So basically, any spell with a Kicker cost, that spell has a normal cost and then has an additional Kicker cost. And when you cast the spell, you can choose whether or not to pay the Kicker cost. You have to pay the original cost. You have to pay the mana cost to play the spell. And then Kicker is just something optional you can pay on top. And if you pay the Kicker cost, then you get some additional effect. Boom, straightforward, done. Like, there you go.
Yeah, we've seen it so many times. I don't know why Brian went into such detail.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. So the Academy of Drake. For 2 and a blue, it's a 2/2 flying Drake. Nice and simple. It's common. I recognize that. But it has a kicker of 4 mana. And if it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So then it's a 4/4 flyer for 7.
Yeah.
Which this is totally a limited card because you're not going to see that sort of thing in Constructed. But when you top deck it late at the pre-release, you're going to be happy to pay 7 to slam down a 4/4 flyer.
Yeah.
Trust me on this.
Yes.
And if you get it early, you're very happy with a 2/2 flyer for 3. Both of these modes are fine.
Yeah, neither one of them is great, but that's the point because it's common.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even though you would never put a 4/4, you almost never put a 4/4 flyer for 7 with no other abilities in your deck. That's not what you're doing. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2/2 flyer for 3 in sealed is brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like I said, if it's late and you're top decking, a 4/4 for 7 is like a windfall. You're like, yeah.
I mean, an air elemental, even a little more expensive and limited, will win you the game.
Yep.
So, yeah.
All right, next.
Keldon Overseer is also common. He's a 2 and a red for a 3/1 human warrior. The kicker cost is 3 and a red. So it's either 3 or 7. It has haste. When Keldon Overseer enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, you threaten something. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until end of turn.
I love that the Overseer himself has haste.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah,
regardless of whether or not it's kicked. Yeah. But the thought of like, okay, there's nothing else out there, or I think if I just get another body on the board with the math, I can win straight up. I'm good. But then if you've got the extra mana or the situation demands it, getting a hasty guy and removing a blocker, not just even removing a blocker, but getting another attacker at the same time. 2 new attackers and 1 less blocker for them. That is at common. That is really good.
Seems good.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's busted because it costs 7 to do that.
Right.
But I like this guy like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Next up, as you can see, we also have non-creature spells with kicker. So here we've got Sapperling Migration. Yep, we still got Seps on Dominaria. It's a Sap born every minute. For one in the green.
Kick it, 2 to take them.
For 1 in the green, it's a sorcery common. Create 2 1/1 green Sapperling creature tokens. It's got a kicker of 4 generic. If this spell was kicked, you create 4 of those tokens instead. So for 2, you get 2 guys. For 6, you get 4. And it's still just costing you 1 card each time. So I mean, that seems fine.
Did you read the flavor text on that?
Yeah. You go ahead.
Mike.
Thalids herd sapperlings from place to place in search of detritus to feed them.
Thalids.
I know. And that's interesting because the Thalids were originally bred as a food source by the elves in Sarpedia.
And now they've evolved to a new purpose.
Yeah.
Guys, I know we know this, but we're really actually going home.
We're going home, dude.
I know.
Finally. I mean, I remember when Mirrodin came out and we're like, hey, we're actually going somewhere different. And then we went to Kamigawa. We're like, okay, that's cool. And then we went to Ravnica and we're like, yeah, okay, we get this. And then we came home for Time Spiral. And that was literally...
and then we wrecked the place.
The last time. the last time. So, one more kicker card.
I had not... Wow. So I'd seen Sapperling Migration because people were talking about, you know, what the card does and the art and whatnot. And the line separating the flavor text from the rules text.
Yeah.
But I hadn't actually read the flavor text because I try to avoid previews for the most part until we're recording, just so like you get the honest effect. And I hadn't read that flavor text until right then. And that's so awesome. Just that little mention of Thalids just made me go, oh my God. Oh, I love it. Okay, so yeah, we also have some non-mana kickers that we've seen in the past. This is my turn, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Vicious Offering for 1 and a... I didn't even read this card. Vicious Offering for 1 and a black is a common instant. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. Okay, that's fine. It has a kicker of sacrifice a creature.
A sap.
Do what?
Like a sap.
Sure. It has a kicker of sacrifice a creature, and if it was kicked, the creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn instead. That's really good.
On an instant, yeah.
Like, it's not, like, super good, but that's good.
No.
Like,
it's very good.
That's insane, actually.
Yeah. -5/-5 for 2 mana and second creature. And I was trying to say like a sap token, but obviously you don't have to run this in the green black deck. just whatever your least important thing is really good. In the text here, he suggests, may I suggest kicking Keldon Overseer first and sacrificing the one you borrowed, which just makes me go,
That's only 9 mana. Yeah.
Sure. But that just feels so, so bad. Like, for your opponent. You took my thing, you hit me in the face with it, and then you sacked it to kill my other thing, and I'm not getting it back now.
Boo.
For 9 mana and 2 cards. Yeah.
So then we touch on the next thing that's actually new, legendary sorceries.
Yes.
Which, like, the first thing I did when I saw that was go, wait, what?
I thought of epic spells, but this
Epic
is much better than epic spells.
Originally, their take on a legendary spell. It's a spell that was so powerful that it's literally the last spell you ever get to cast.
which is really unique and kind of neat in its own way.
Oh yeah, it's cool.
But that is so limiting because of what it does.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Play an epic deck? Okay, congratulations, you played one of them. Now you're done. So this is different, and this I think is really cool.
Yeah, so I had to read this twice because I wanted to make sure that I hadn't missed something.
Mm-hmm.
Legendary sorceries have the type legendary sorcery, so super type legendary type sorcery, just like you'd expect. They have the new crown molding at the top. God, I hope we don't start calling it that.
Is that gonna be the name of the episode? Crown molding?
God, I hope that's not the case either. But but yeah, they've got that Dominarian Crown Mold. Yeah, Dominarian Crown Molding. That's the episode.
There we go.
Right there.
There we go. If only Dirk was here to stop us.
It's too late. Sorry, Dirk. But anyway, so they've got the Dominarian Crown Molding at the top. Damn it. And they do a thing and they at sorcery speed, and I'm like, okay, what's the catch? And the catch is you may cast a legendary sorcery only if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker. That's it. And I went, no. Hang on, let me read this whole thing twice. But nope, that's the whole thing. It works the same as every other sorcery, except you have to have a legend there to essentially to cast it.
And it has to actually be a legendary creature or a planeswalker.
Yeah, having a legendary land won't do you anything, and legendary artifacts are right out.
And the flavor is awesome because it's not even you casting the spell. It's that creature or planeswalker casting the spell. And I'm just like, oh, the flavor. Oh, I love this
delicious.
one. Yeah. It's a little interesting to have to build around it. And I think it could be frustrating. But it makes for some interesting choices. If for example, that your opponent has a legendary sorcery and you see them play a legend, you might be like, yeah, let's take care of that and kind of strand the sorcery in your hand. So I think it might be a bit frustrating or make it a little difficult to run the sorceries because you have to also balance it with the creatures and the planeswalkers. But at the same time, they can push these sorceries a little bit or a lot and make them more rewarding that way.
Yeah. So the one we have is Urza's Ruinous Blast. Who's reading that?
Mike. Because Mike.
Yeah.
Urza's Ruinous Blast costs 4 and a white for a rare legendary sorcery. And like we said, you can only cast it if you control a legendary creature or planeswalker. Exile all non-land permanents that aren't legendary.
Just I oopsed the world today.
Yes.
Accidentally the whole thing.
Right. And the flavor text, centuries ago, one man's vengeance plunged the world into ice and darkness. So this is the moment when Urza activated the Golgothian Silex, and the resulting cataclysm ended the Brothers' War, but it also started the Ice Age.
Yeah.
On Dominaria.
And it ignited his spark and fused him with the Meek Stone and the Weak Stone.
Yes.
Meek Stone and the Might Stone.
There we go.
Meek Stone and Might. Yeah, and Weak Stone.
Yeah, the Weak Stone and the Might Stone.
I don't know if you want that combination.
Yeah.
That combination for jerks.
Yeah, so it depicts this historic moment.
And the art on that is so sick.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
If you've read the story, I love how until that point, Urza really didn't believe in using magic. He was 100% artifice. Just, if you build it, they will come and all that stuff. And finally, somebody was like, you should use the Silex because the Phyrexians are about to win and your brother's been taken over. He's like, fine. And kaboom. And he's like, oh, magic's pretty cool. Guess I'm going to, find the Phyrexians that corrupted my brother and see what I can do about that.
So then we've got one more thing.
Yes.
Which is,
yes.
It's not a new thing, but it's totally a new thing. This is really tripping me out.
I mean, I didn't see this one coming. Like,
no.
I read the others and I'm like, okay, we've seen sagas. Historic, I didn't know, but it's really just a way of talking about things we already understand.
Yeah.
Kicker, we've had millions of, and then the legendary sorceries. As new as that is, I got it immediately. I read this, and it said, I even just read the title, Hexproof From, and I'm like, did they do it? Did they do it? And I saw the example, and I'm like, they fixed protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
didn't we mention recently? I can't remember if it was here or on Monday Night Magic, but we mentioned how protection in the Masters 25 release notes had its own little thing.
I think you mentioned on Monday Night Magic.
Okay, yeah, it has its own thing to be explained because they don't do it anymore.
They don't do it anymore because, for someone that grew up with it, you might go, oh, I get how it works. But,
Then even then you might get it wrong every once in a while.
Yeah. And Hexproof From and then listing something actually makes so much sense.
Yep.
Here's the example. Knight of Grace. And if there isn't a Knight of Malice or something in this set, I'm going to be really disappointed. For 1 and a white, it's a 2/2 human knight, and it's uncommon with first strike. It has Hexproof from black. A reminder text says this creature can't be the target of black spells or abilities your opponents control. And then Knight of Grace gets +1/+0 as long as any player controls a black permanent. Any player, wow, including yourself.
Yeah, I was surprised to see that on this card. I don't know if I agree with that.
A light to pierce the shadows. But so this gets around a lot of the clunkiness. Yes, you can still block with a black permanent. Or the black creature specifically, not with a black land.
Blackest land I ever saw.
So, but the enchantment doesn't really matter a whole lot if you're able to put a black enchantment on something else and then move it onto Knight of Grace through some way that isn't targeting it with a black spell or ability. Then
oh my god. Okay, let's back up. Protection.
Yeah.
Brian is just going off on stuff people might. This one is not like Kicker. This one's a little weird. So protection, the word they always told you to think about was debt. DEBT.
Yes.
So protection stops damage. So like the White Knight has protection from black. So D is damage. It can't be damaged by anything black.
Yep.
E is enchanted and now equipped. It can't be enchanted or equipped with anything black.
Yep.
B is blocked. It can't be blocked by anything black. And T is targeted. It can't be targeted by anything black. Yeah. So when Brian says, it got around the enchantment thing doesn't matter. No. Wait, hang on. So that's what Brian's talking about. He's comparing it to protection. So,
and I apologize for anyone that isn't familiar with protection because I'm trying to draw the distinction.
Yeah.
But this is so much easier.
And cleaner? And less confusing?
Yes. And because it's hexproof, you can actually still enchant it with your own black stuff.
Yeah, so if you've got a freaking unholy strength or something, you just drop it on it and he goes, this is awesome. And if your opponent's like, but wait, is it yeah, vicious offering, and he's like, I have grace.
This unicorn is delicious.
Oh, unicorn.
Oh. The Knight of Grace would eat a unicorn, but only if you gave it to him.
But so, like I said, if there's not a Black Knight equivalent to this obvious White Knight call out,
oh yeah, there's got it.
Oh man, if you put a Feast the Unicorn on Knight of Grace, it's going to be a 7/2 with first strike. That's awesome.
Bad Mike, no. Wow, but I don't even really know why, except the fact that again, it's just like they took the mechanic and they just made it so much better. And I'm just kind of glad to see it back because protection is difficult because if anything, it shut down interaction. And this still allows for some, but I actually almost kind of prefer hexproof from X instead of straight up hexproof as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. What it really does in my mind is it makes hexproof less obnoxious.
Right. Because say Knight of Grace just had hexproof, then you might go, oh, I'm sitting on this lightning bolt, I can't kill it. Now, the way Knight of Grace is now with hexproof from black, you actually can still draw outs to it, like lightning bolt. So there is still more interaction than there is with hexproof, and more interaction than there is with straight up protection, because now you don't have to worry about like some of the things that I started to go into. Now the question is, how many older players are going to like
screw this up?
Screw this up. I'm thinking about, I'm going to play Knight of Grace. They're going to play, you know, like a black zombie or something, and I'm going to be like, sweet, swing, and they're going to be like, blocked with my 3/3, and I'm going to be like,
what?
Oh, I'm going to, but it's a 3/2 with first strike, so never mind, I'll be fine. But you know what I mean. I'm going to forget that that's even an option.
Yes.
So, that's the mechanics.
Those are the mechanics, yeah.
Those are the mechanics.
Yeah, for the most part, I'm on board.
Historic is one of the ones that you go, huh? But really, the term doesn't mean anything except for how they use it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like, they could have written out, whenever you cast an artifact, a legendary, an artifact spell, a legendary spell, or a saga, then Sarah Disciple gets +1/+1 until the end of the turn, but that would be stupid.
Yeah, and they could have had, you know, the historic ability word in italics, and then M-, and then the rest of the ability, and then, you know, it'd basically be written out by Landfall if they did it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then you get the thing like the Guardian of Koilos, where it's not just an ability word. So yeah. So I understand like how it works and why it works, and I'm glad that they've taken this subset of things that are important in this set and turned it into one word to free up real estate on cards. It's just like I said, at the back of my brain, it's like, this is weird, I don't like it, and it's just enough for me to bring it up. Like I said, I don't think it's bad. Everybody, calm down.
It's just cool.
It's just a little weird.
But I get your point.
Yeah. So then today, it turns out, we got 2 more articles.
Yeah. Do we want to do the promos one next?
Yeah.
Because I feel like the other one is its own thing. Yeah.
So we got some promos from Blake. There's the buy box promo, of course, we already talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have really neat. So they're bringing back F&M promos with Dominaria, because nerds can't handle change. So
like me.
Nerds didn't like the whole, you're not getting a card from the set, you're getting this really cool token that you can't get anywhere else. Well, nerds couldn't handle that because now I have no reason to go to F&M. What?
There was more to it than that, but let's keep moving.
Yeah, I just love to pick on nerds that can't handle change because those were the most loud and obnoxious ones.
Yes.
So
as is always.
So now F&M promos are back and they're neat.
Yes.
Like super neat. They have a completely different card frame.
Yeah.
And I can't handle how awesome, like having the 2 opt. So the F&M promo is opt. You remember that card? Opt.
Yep.
Yeah.
From the original invasion block.
Yeah, that's been reworded to say scry 1, draw a card. Because that's what opt does now, because scry is a thing. But it's a single blue, instant. Is that a common or that's a common symbol, right?
That's a common.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit of lore here too, because
because
Teferi actually lost his spark. He was the first planeswalker to lose his spark in sealing a time rift before the Mending.
He gave up his spark to seal a rift, but he didn't die in the process because he's Teferi. Lots of the others did.
He did. Lots of the others did. The funny thing was he didn't even realize what was happening. He knew he was using up a lot of his power. He fell down to earth, and then he was being attacked by some Viashino, and he's like, oh, I'll just make him go away. And he's like, I can't do anything. Oh, crap. And it was this almost hilarious moment where the people that are with him are like, are you going to do it? And he's like, I can't. And so he clearly didn't know what he was signing up for. And
didn't he go like catatonic for a brief period? Or am I making that up?
I don't recall. I'd have to reread
I
the
seem to
story.
remember him just sort of being not all there for a while after that.
I think it took him a while to come to terms because he was so old that, oh, wait a minute, I'm not what I used to be before. So he wasn't even a planeswalker anymore, even on the level of like Venser, the new planeswalker. So
yeah.
But so here the flavor text is, the crystal pulsed with the power of Teferi's planeswalker spark. Had Joria given him a blessing or a curse? So it sounds like somehow she has gathered his spark, and it sounds like he's trying to decide, with this, had she given a blessing or a curse, does he have a decision to make about, is he going to take this on again or not?
Am I supposed to eat this or what?
Dana, get the hamsters! Dana!
Actually, it doesn't go in your mouth, Teferi.
Good news. It's a suppository.
Looking at the size of that is not good news. Anyway, so Opt is in the set. That's cool.
Yep.
And you can see the normal version below it, which with the little line, between the rules text and the flavor text. It's sweet.
Yeah.
But above it, it's got a whole new frame and a whole new text box, which I can't even, you guys. That is so cool.
It's really nice, yeah. And they also cut the reminder text.
They cut the reminder text so it's nice and crisp. It says scry 1, period, line break, draw a card, period.
And that nifty planeswalker symbol behind it is the watermark. But it's a nice watermark.
But it's not like a watermark because of the card. The text box is like a deep blue. The text is white. Guys, just look. All right, just go look it up. It's so sick. And that's a great thing to do for a promo. That like you have the regular version in the set, but the promo version is that. It's the same art, it's the same card, but it's just, you know what? It's better. I'm saying it. It's better.
It's pretty dope.
And then there's another one below it.
Mm-hmm.
Who's up to read a new card? I think it's me.
I can't. I think it's Mike's turn, but
all right.
Well, I mean, that's
anytime I say Mike's turn, it's funny to me.
So Cast Down is another FNM promo. For 1 and a black, it's an uncommon instant. Destroy target non-legendary creature.
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Have I seen that art before? I feel like that was art that was in a promo somewhere.
I don't remember seeing it. This is a new card, right?
Yeah.
So
yes.
This isn't. And once again, the flavor text is really interesting. If you know
wow,
lore.
That is not. Your life is finished, your name lost, and your work forgotten. It is as though Mazura never existed. And it's attributed to Chainer's Torment.
What is Chainer's Torment? Like
some kind of book or record, since it's not also italicized, it's written.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
but if you knew Chainer the guy, he wasn't, at least at the time of Torment, which was the set that he was the lead for, he wasn't known for like being really loquacious or writing things down. So I'm wondering if it's like something attributed to him. Oh,
maybe part of his story. I wonder if some of the old books and other things that some of these flavor texts that we've seen giving at you. Gosh, that sentence came out backwards.
Yeah, I didn't understand.
I'm not sure what you're going for.
So what I'm trying to say is, so we've seen a lot of flavor text over the years attributed to some kind of old book or story or whatever. And I'm sure there are more that are going to show up here. I wonder if any of those things will show up as sagas.
Oh, you think Chainer's Torment might be a saga? That would be so cool.
Yeah, like we've seen the Phyrexian scriptures. I think it's very plausible that there might be a Song of All.
That would also be cool. I might die.
Awesome.
And I'm also secretly hoping for some, Sarpadian Empires Volume N, whatever.
Of course you are.
Of course you are.
But it also points out, as Liliana says in one of the recent story articles, that, things that the modern people kind of, some of the legends that of previous generations are not exactly accurate. So it also makes you wonder how much of these is embellishment or somebody's legend growing beyond themselves, and
True. It's a good
So-
point.
But yeah, Cast Down is pretty cool.
Yeah, for 2 mana as an instant, straight up destroy target non-legendary permanent. Obviously, there's
Creature.
or legendary creature. Ugh. There's going to be a lot of legendary creatures, but still, I
Screw
mean,
you, Forest.
the rest of standard doesn't
God,
go
it's
away.
cool.
The rest of standard doesn't go away, when the set comes in. So
Well, some of it does.
some of it,
We're
does this
losing.
I don't think anything rotates out with Dominaria because it's not the fall set.
Oh,
You're right. It's not the full set.
it's not
Yeah.
till the core set then.
Yeah. So as far back
Oh.
as Kaladesh? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of permanents that this can hit,
Well, how about that?
including a piloted vehicle. Ha 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 ha. As long as it's not a legendary vehicle.
Yeah, sorry, Heart of Kieran, you're safe. So this one worries me. This next card, but only
No.
because of some of the text. So, by the way, the text box on Cast Down is black with the sick Planeswalker logo in the back, the same as Opt was blue, and the frame is still awesome. Actually, the frame. Oh, okay, I can see it better on the black one. It's just a different look of the normal frame. It's the actual text box. Like the type line and name line and the text box that are different. I think
Yeah.
the background is the same, it's just their foil.
Yeah, they're foiling. Yeah.
Okay, I did not... I thought they were a different border, but no, it's the same actual border. It's just the actual text boxes that are different. Okay, cool. I couldn't see that on the blue, and then now looking at it, I see why I didn't see it. Like the foiling look in the picture here just makes it look like it's a whole other thing. But on black, yeah, it's totally the same border. Okay, sorry if that confused anyone. So now we have another one that is weird.
Yeah, this is Shauna, Sisay's legacy, which that should sound familiar because Sisay was the captain of the
Weatherlight.
Weatherlight for a while Gerard was trying to accept his destiny. So this is apparently her descendant. So for a green and a white, it's a 0/0 legendary human warrior at uncommon. So that's kind of interesting.
Seems good.
Let's skip to that second part because you're like 0/0. What? She gets +1/+1 for each creature you control. So she includes herself, so she's at least a 1/1. Now, she can't be the target of spells or abilities your opponents control.
Nope. Back up. Read it again.
The target of abilities your opponents control. Sorry.
Oh, yep, my brain also inserted spells. Okay.
Because, for a minute there, I was like, why isn't this just hexproof?
Why doesn't this just say hexproof? Yep, but okay, because
So you can,
it's just abilities.
So you can,
Okay.
you can still target this with, lightning bolt. So it dies to Doomblade. It's fine.
Yeah, they just can't tap a royal assassin to get old school. You can't tap a royal assassin to kill.
I was gonna say Master.
Shauna.
I wasn't gonna. I was gonna go Master Decoy. So if that makes you feel any less old,
Isn't Royal Assassin 1,000 years old? And Master Decoy. What is Master Decoy?
That was originally from Tempest.
Okay,
So
yeah.
it's still pretty old.
I don't even remember. Is that the one that taps a thing?
yeah,
Oh,
Tap it to
okay.
tap something.
I see the art in my head now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
it just can't be the target of abilities. Got it. Yeah, my brain inserted spells as well. So thank you, Mike. Because when
Yeah.
you said back up, read it again, I was like, why?
I think we're just. I mean, that's expectation. So, but it's a lot more fair this way.
Yeah. But this is also an F&M promo.
Mhm.
And the frame on this... Okay, so the Dominarian Crown Molding at the top for dual-colored cards is dual-colored. We saw that with the Buy a Box promo, the Minotaurs, where it was white and red. Well, now it's green and white, and they're in the same order that mana symbols would be on the card. So the left side is green, the white side is white, or the right side is white. That makes sense, okay. But the type line and name line the text boxes are darker, so the text is white, which makes it pop. And then the text box where the rules text and flavor text go is still darker, so that the text there is white, and it's half green and half white there, and that looks so cool, you guys.
Yeah.
Oh.
How happy would you be to get that as a promo? Because, that's just...
It's really pretty.
It's super pretty. And I love the details on the art and how the art, one of the things with this is that she says I am heir to many treasures. None is as precious as knowing how my ancestor lived her life. And of course, the Weatherlight was itself, the legacy weapon was a collection of not just the Weatherlight airship, but a bunch of other treasures. And you see she's got this armor and shield and sword, and they're all like glowy. And it's just like, yeah, these were passed down through the family.
And that's the Weatherlight.
Like a +5. Her. Yeah. Well, and in the very first story, I don't want to give too much away, but in the very first story article, there a group is actually under the ocean dredging up the Weatherlight. So it's like, once again, welcome home.
Neat.
So
I might actually have to go read these.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
So those are the F&M promos.
Yeah, and it says, unlike previous F&M promos that were the same promo every month, stores will have all 3 promos and will be able to distribute them how they see fit.
Cool.
So yeah, that's neat. All right, moving on. We've got more promos.
Yep.
The Rivals of Ixalan Store Championship is coming the week of April 2nd. April 2nd?
That can't be right. That can't be right.
Why not?
That's before the set comes out.
The Rivals of Ixalan Store Championship.
Never mind. Well, of course I inserted the word, the name of the set we're reading about.
Yeah, because it's, well, and also this card is from Dominaria, so.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But
as
yeah,
is the playmat, so.
The week of April 2nd is when, I think that might be when official previews, like handed out previews start, or it might be next week, I don't know. But that week is when Monday Night Magic gets their preview card on the 3rd. So we'll record on the 2nd, and it'll go up as close to midnight as I can make it that night. So everyone, go listen to that episode of Monday Night Magic. But, so yeah. We get a promo card and a playmat. For participating, you get this Steel Leaf Champion.
That's participation promo?
That's what it says.
Yeah.
So
it's a rare.
Yeah, so Steel Leaf Champion. Is it my turn? Yeah.
Yeah.
For green, it's a full art promo, by the way. It's still got a text box and a type line, but they're transparent. Like, you can see through them. So Steel Leaf Champion for green is a rare elf knight. It can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, and it's a 5/4. Damn.
I love how, first of all, this reminds me of like Elven Riders, where, it's like a different way of doing green evasion.
Yep.
And here it's the can't be blocked by small things. So, and it's also a 5/4 for 3 with evasion, but requires a heavy green commitment, so that's cool. And then from a flavor perspective, so Elven Riders, they're riding wolves, right? Well,
Yes.
During the invasion, this dormant creature type that had been living under the surface for thousands of years came up to the surface to defend Dominaria. You might be familiar with the most famous one, the Flame Tongue, the Kavu. And apparently,
is that a Kavu?
Look at it.
Kavu. Look at it.
Dude, I thought it was like a Baloth. Okay, look, let me look. You have to
that's a
remember, Kavus were a thing during that period of time that I wasn't playing Magic, so they're not like burned into my brain.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so clearly the invasion and the apocalypse woke them up, and it's not like they're just gonna go away now. So over time, it looks like they formed some kind of symbiotic relationship, at least at some point, or to some degree, with the elves. Now the elves are like, wolves. Check out this year's model.
Wow, that's a Kavu. That's so cool.
Am I wrong? I thought it was.
I mean, Mike said, yeah, look at it. So,
yeah.
Like I was an idiot. So
I think it's a Kavu. Wait a minute. How many legs does it have? Yeah, it has 6 legs, I think.
Yep. That's a Kavu.
Yeah, I see 3 on one side. So
sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty baller.
All right. And it's a rare card. So in the past, it used to be, you get like a common or uncommon for participating, and the top 8 would get a full art rare. And here, that's just, hey, everybody gets one.
Yeah, so
Sweet.
that's pretty neat.
Yep.
And if you win the whole thing, you get this really sick Teferi playmat.
Yeah, super handsome Teferi.
It's
right?
Like
Isn't he dreamy?
It's Idris Elba as Teferi.
It is. It's freaking Idris Elba. You're not even remotely wrong.
Yeah.
You remember how
man.
the Teferi from... Oh, God. Was it Teferi?
I'm not sure.
It was Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh,
that was a Teferi promo or a different art or something, wasn't it?
I know what you're talking about. What was it?
Yeah, here we go. The Teferi Mage of Zhalfir from... What is this from? Iconic Masters?
Time Spiral?
Was that... No.
Right.
No, it was a reprint of the one from Time Spiral.
Okay.
But I'm having trouble tracking it down. Gatherer.
Was it in one of the... From the vault?
Maybe? Hang on, I'm looking. Teferi... Mage of Zhalfir. It was from the Vault Legends. Yeah.
Okay.
When Teferi was totally Lawrence Fishburne Teferi.
Mm-hmm.
Like straight up. And now he's totally... Look at that. Look at the stern look. And even... That's totally, dude. He's a badass. Like, I have almost started watching... what's that? Luther. The cop drama that he's in on Netflix so many times. I've almost started, but I'm like, I really should finish Punisher instead. So anyway, Idris Elba's a badass. I really hope he's the next James Bond. Like, I'm dying inside. Anyway, going back to the Steel Leaf Champion, like, it's really a shame that there's not like a mana elf, like a Llanowar Elves. So you could go turn 2, 5/4 that can't be blocked by little dudes.
Yeah, but they're never going to reprint Llanowar Elves because they don't like the naming convention. It doesn't make sense. Why have a plural? But,
exactly. Yeah, it's too bad. Never mind the Minotaur, what we saw before. That was special because that was legendary.
All right, so Mike, what's the next card?
The next card, I think we've seen this before. It's called Llanowar Elves.
Get out. Leave your apartment, go stand outside for 5 minutes, then come back when you can tell us the truth.
It's probably still really cold outside, so no.
I have no authority here.
And this is for the participating in the Magic Open House.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. They didn't show us the regular version of Steel Leaf Champion.
I think that might be the regular art.
Just with
it's just with the extended.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whereas this is actually
that's just a blatant guess on my part. I have no idea.
I mean, that might be why.
Yeah. But yeah, the Magic Open House participation, you get a full art Llanowar Elves.
Which, I mean, like 15 years ago, you'd be like, yeah, okay. But now we're like, it's Llanowar Elves.
You're right.
It's Llanowar Elves. One of the most iconic creatures in all of Magic.
I mean, and they've been avoiding 1-drop mana creatures for a while
yeah.
They can mess things up sometimes.
They really
I don't know, playing a 5/4
on turn 2.
On turn 2. But the difference between, a 2-drop and a 3-drop can be pretty substantial. So,
yep. And the text box, it's full art again, and so the text box is just a tap symbol : add green mana symbol, period. Boom. So clean. Doesn't detract from the art at all. As much as I would love some flavor text, it doesn't need to be on that version.
Mm-hmm.
But then if we scroll down, we get to see what it looks like in Dominaria booster packs. And it's got completely different art. And they don't look happy.
Well,
but then
maybe life is tough for them.
Llanowar Elves have never really been friendly.
No.
I mean, even in the first art...
One bone broken for every branch snapped underfoot. Was that how it went?
Twig, but yeah.
Twig, yeah.
But even in the original... no, not the original. Was it 4th? Yeah, 4th edition. Hardened by their life in the haunted Llanowar forest, these fierce beings are outcasts among elven kind.
Yeah. I mean, I always got the sense from the original Llanowar Elves that they were really trying to kind of subvert traditional images of elves as, these peaceful, we live in the trees, we, don't bother anyone. This is like a down and dirty, gritty. I mean, he's got tattoos and stuff. So kind of a play on what you might expect of an elf to look like. And so we're kind of getting a sense of some of that here too.
Hey, Mark, we need a painting of an elf. Okay, here you go. Damn it, Mark.
And the name Llanowar Elves is actually an anagram of War on All.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I don't remember if they said they did that on purpose or not, but I think they did, because how else are you going to come up with such a random-ass word? And they're very, warlike, and... Well, the alpha flavor text was very, fruity, Tolkien elves, Whenever the Llanowar elves gather the fruits of their forest, they leave one plant of each type untouched, considering that nature's portion. Okay, and then you go into, actually all the way up to 4th edition, when they're these fierce beings are outcasts. And then 5th edition was when we had the one bone broken for every twig snapped underfoot. Oh, well, damn. So yeah, they're getting harder.
I'm sorry, that wasn't Mark Tedine. That was Anson Maddox. My bad.
Oh yeah, the original was.
I named the wrong artist.
Didn't he do? No, he didn't. Okay, never mind. So yeah, Llanowar elves are badasses. It's good to see them back, continuing to be badasses. And their flavor text here is: as patient and generous as life, as harsh and merciless as nature. Yeah. I like it. Oh God, we're not done yet. Oh my God, I thought that was it. Scroll.
No, we got a couple more.
And we've got the League.
Yes.
The Magic League starting April 30th. The Store League, you guys know how that is, right, you listener people? Sure you do.
Sure you do.
So if you participate in the League, you'll get this.
Who wants to pronounce that first word?
Zalfirin.
Yeah.
Zalfirin Void. This is kind of interesting, and if you know your lore, you're kind of like, oh. So it's a land. It's not legendary. It's uncommon. You can tap it to add a colorless mana, and when it enters the battlefield, you scry 1. And the flavor text says, "The wind whispers, come home, but I cannot." Teferi.
That is sad.
He caused his homeland to phase out, basically so it could avoid the war during invasion. And then at the beginning of Time Spiral, it's still kind of phased out, but Teferi is able to observe the time rifts, collapsing reality in Dominaria, and comes back. He doesn't pull the land with him, because it's not safe for him to do so. His whole point in keeping them out was to keep them safe. I'm guessing that because he lost his spark, he now doesn't have the ability to bring his country home.
Or to travel there himself.
Yeah. So they're removed from the time stream, and he can't go and they can't come back. And it's kind of sorrowful.
The kind of power it would take to cast a spell like that isn't something that planeswalkers have anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the God Planeswalkers could do that and, eat a banana and be fine. But
yeah.
But us post-mending Planeswalkers are like, I don't think, nah.
Yeah, rewriting the rules of reality, I don't...
Yeah, maybe if Nicol Bolas plots for 200 years, he might figure out a way to do that, but it's not something... Yeah, you basically have to have a Nicol Bolas level centuries-old plot to get to that level nowadays.
Yeah. And, old Planeswalkers would be like, what? You want me to change the gravitational constant of the universe? All right. I don't know what this will do, though.
Probably not going to like it.
And new Planeswalkers are like, you want me to pick up this heavy thing? I don't know if I can do that. But yeah, the art on the promo Zalfirin Void it's very pretty. And the text box has a shiny, Dominarian symbol watermark in the background.
Mm-hmm.
That I think is foiled, it's a hotspot itself, and I think it's going to be really cool when you see it in person. Actually, I think that art is going to look really sick in foil. That's going to be the kind of card that if my mom were to pick it up, she'd turn it and go, ooh, just like that.
Yeah.
But the regular art on Zephyr and Void, actually I like a lot better because it really...
It speaks to...
like that emptiness and that something missing. And it's got Teferi just standing like on the shore, just looking out at this nothing. Yeah, I think I prefer that one. That's really good.
It's also a land that lets you scry and enters untapped, so that's good.
It does enter untapped. My brain inserted that.
Unlike New Benalia.
Yeah, this is weird.
Or the temples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, this card is cool.
Next. We got one more here in the promos, other than the packaging, and packaging looks cool, but it's packaging, so
yeah. So this is for draft weekend. If you participate in draft weekend, then you'll get if you participate in draft weekend, that's April 28th and 29th.
Yeah.
Then you'll
it used to be release weekend, so
right. Yeah, then you'll get this. Is this me or Mike?
It's Chewie's turn.
Oh,
so.
Okay. So you'll get Zahid, Djinn of the Lamp. That's a legendary Djinn. Djinn?
Djinn.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Have we ever had one of those?
Legendary Djinn. Mistform Ultimus.
I hate you so much. Oh God, I hate you so much. Go stand outside for 5 minutes.
Let's just say no.
In the gerbils.
Let's say no and keep moving. I'll look it up and gather. You actually read what it does.
All right.
Have you read it yet? Because it's awesome.
Zahid, Djinn of... I actually haven't read this. Zahid, Djinn of the Lamp for 4 blue is a 5/6 rare legendary creature Djinn. And of course, he's got the Dominarian Crown Molding. You may pay 3 and a blue and tap an untapped artifact you control rather than pay this spell's mana cost.
He comes out of the lamp.
Yeah.
And he is flying. So he's either a Mahamodi Djinn, right? He was a 5/6 flyer for 6, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or it's 3 and a blue and rub the lamp. Tap an artifact to get a Mahamodi.
And I wonder if they tried this at a lower alternate cost and it was just too dumb.
I can see that.
I'm certain they maybe tested it at 3 just for, 3. It's like, they're like, everything's on fire. So,
yeah.
Okay, not 3.
Gatherer says no.
Wow,
this is
that's
the first
so
one.
Cool. And the flavor text, I do as I please, little mortal. Do go on about your wishes, though. They amuse me to no end. Aw, he's a dick. So yeah, the draft weekend art is very much in your face. And of course, it's got the foil hot-spotted Dominaria symbol watermark in the text box. But then the non-promo version, actually it gives you a better look at him.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it speaks more to his malice, which the flavor text seems to at least hint at that.
Yeah. Like you rub the lamp.
Regular art.
He's what?
He's got more attitude in the regular art.
Yeah. Like the promo art is much more, he's holding the lamp out facing you and it's very much, the art is very much about, look at this lamp. But in this one, he's just sort of holding the lamp and looking down at it with disdain. Yeah. And the camera's pulled back and it's just nice. They're both good. I can't call which one I like better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool. I love that you can rub the lamp and have Zahid pop out. And you're like, all right, for my first wish. And he's like, dude, who do you think I am? I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And then we've got this packaging that we've seen some of this. We talked about it on Monday Night Magic from some promo shots of it. There's a random like bird cleric who we assume is old Jaya Ballard. Shield Knight person. Karn and Teferi.
Yeah.
And I think a couple of those might not have been there before. Actually, no, all 5 of those might have been in the promo pictures from before. It was some sort of like toy or games show. Mm-hmm. And there were some mock-ups of what the packaging would look like. And these weren't like leaks or anything. They were just pictures on that show's website. So yeah, that's what we said weeks and weeks ago. I still don't know anything about the story, so don't yell at me. We're like, oh, you gave it away. I didn't know. By the time you're listening to this, we probably know, though. Let's be honest. And then, yeah, the It's not called a fat pack anymore. What's it called?
Bundle?
A bundle, yeah. The bundle and the booster box have that cool Karn Teferi and Joyra art that they showed off like a long time ago and made us all squee in our pants. Yeah. So wait, is that it for Dominaria? Except for...
One last thing.
Yeah, except for Gavin's article from today.
Yes, that is it except for this last thing.
Yeah. Take it away, one of you two, because I'm going to have to talk about this on Monday Night Magic next week.
So, on Wednesday's article, when they announced the promo card, Firesong and Sunspeaker, they said, we think that this makes for some interesting applications for Commander, but we also like it for Brawl. What's Brawl? We have to wait until tomorrow. And in this article, Join the Brawl by Gavin Verhey, he talks about this is a new format that Wizards has come up with. It's something that someone within Wizards, but not actually in R&D, came up with when they were looking for another way to play casual Magic, and it kind of snowballed, and they've been testing it internally for some time. So it's kind of interesting in that Commander really got started through the judging community, and then that they formed the rules committee once it really took off. This is definitely much more centrally located to Wizards, and so you're going to see a lot more of the support for this format, I think, right out the gates. But I think the best way to describe it is it's a Commander variant. You play Commander, but you can use a legendary creature or a planeswalker. Your deck is 60 cards, and your Commander still counts as one of those, just like your Commander in Commander is one of the 100 cards. And it's still singleton, other than basic lands, and it's 60 cards instead of 100. And each card must be legal in the standard format. Other than that, life starts at 30 rather than 20 or 40. And then is the mana symbols rule the same as color identity, or is that a different take on that? I feel like
it's just a different That's just a different way of explaining color identity.
Okay, so I think because they wanted to, a lot about this is they wanted to find a format that newer players would be interested in, which doesn't mean older players can't play this, but they were certainly looking for something with a lower bar to entry than Commander, because the article even talks about how Commander can be a bit intimidating when your local group has, stuff from the beginning of the game and you just got a couple packs of the newest set. So they're probably trying to explain color identity in a way that makes sense. So, but the way I look at it is, again, a Commander variant. And there's parts of this that I think are interesting and parts of it that I kind of scratch my head at. And I'm going to go and get it right out of the way. When I read it as Commander, but for Standard, the cynical part of me says that is an excuse to have cards rotate out of Commander or of this format. Because one of the great things about Commander is that the four of us that have been playing Commander for a while now, our old decks, if we don't put together a new deck every now and then, we can always fall back on our old decks. And playing in this format would mean, if you were to adopt the rules of the format, would mean that you kind of need to do some upkeep on it, because you at least need to be paying attention to what cards are legal and standard. With that being said, there's some things here that I think are really interesting. I thought about the 60 card thing, and the truth is, as much as I love Commander, who loves shuffling their deck for Commander?
For the record, I am not raising my hand.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Also, deck construction, I think, would be a little more straightforward. Everybody has a good sense. I think if you've been playing Constructed for any amount of time, you have a sense of the mana ratios, about how many lands, and then plus or minus if you're playing other mana sources like mana rocks. And when you're playing Commander, you have to learn a very different dynamic for that, especially depending on how many tutors does my deck have. And so I run mostly about 40 lands in my Commander decks, and that might go up or it might go down, usually not up. But the 60-card format is one that's just much more familiar to me from a long-standing perspective. So it's also probably, honestly, a bit faster to build your deck because you just have less cards. Now, when I sat down to build my first commander deck, I thought 100 cards, I'll never be able to make this. I had never tried it before, and ultimately I had to end up cutting like 15 cards because I'm like, this is great. It was the Mary Kay deck, and I was like, all this stuff taps and destroys, and it's amazing. So I don't know that that was necessarily as big a problem as I thought it might. However, I didn't build my first commander deck until I've been playing Magic for years.
I'm impressed you only had to cut double digits.
And that's my best recollection. My point being that I was afraid I wouldn't have enough cards to go in the deck, and I had way more than I needed. For someone that hasn't been playing as long, that might be a bit of a stretch. And they do say here, like, for example, with a pirate deck, it's a lot easier to build a 60-card pirate deck that's more on point than a 100-card pirate deck, especially given the constraint of standard. But putting that aside, you can pick like the best pirates instead of just, oh, this is a pirate and I need another pirate for this deck, you know? So anyway, I've been talking for a little bit. I want to get your guys' theory, but I guess my first reaction was a bit cynical, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, well, I think I want to at least try it to really see how it feels, because I think it could actually be pretty rewarding. I don't know how I feel about the whole Planeswalker rule. I don't know if I really love it or hate it, but I think it would be interesting to try out. Now, what do you guys think?
I mean, it's another format that I will probably never play, so whatever. As far as, like, people say, it's just a cash grab, shut up. To be fair, everything that Wizards does is an attempt to make money because they're a business, so I think that's fine. But even if they did, like, even if the most cynical person ever is completely right, and they're only doing this to sell more crap, they've managed to spin it in such a way that it's perfect. Like, it's only 60 cards. Why? Well, because it's trying to find 100 cards to all go in a deck that is only standard legal. It's going to be a pain in the ass. So that's easy. Why legendary planeswalkers as commanders? It says right here, because it's fun. Okay. Well, that's pretty much it, though. Like,
I think I like 30 life better than 40 life. I feel like 40 life is so ingrained in us in commanders that, okay, we that's the expectation. But I think while as much as I love a game of Commander, I don't know that Commander games have to be as long as they end up being, at least in general in our group.
Yeah.
I also kind of, sorry, go ahead. I've been talking a lot. I keep talking more, but what were you going to say?
All I said was, yeah.
Okay. As far as the standard restriction, again, I still don't know how I feel about that. But if I'm going to a store and I don't know everybody, but I want to go and I want to play some Brawl, at least I know I'm not going to run into a deck that's going to play, Mind Over Matter and then Armageddon. And, I'm sure there will still be some top strategies, but there's some really impressive stuff in old cards, and we've all seen it. And for some reason, for some people with Commander, and everybody has different expectations when they play casually, but for some people, there's that expectation of, I can run the stuff to make me get as far ahead and put everyone else down as far as possible and make this game enjoyable for me and no one else. And
yeah, there's a reason that I don't play Commander with randos. I just don't, and I won't, because I've been burned enough times to where it's not worth the effort.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot.
Busts out there like turn 3 combo kill, and I'm like, why? It took me more effort to shuffle that stupid deck up than the enjoyment I got playing it, because you killed us all on turn 3. Good job. And for some people, that's fine. Like, I've spoken to a lot of people whose Commander play group is an arms race, and they're happy with it. And if you're happy with it, fine, but don't expect me to come play with you, And this circumvents that. Like, you're not gonna find, almost certainly not gonna find, the turn 3 combo kill in a Brawl. So if this takes off and people have a Brawl deck to take to F&M to play between rounds, or not play F&M but play Brawl instead, that's awesome. And it's another thing to get people together to play. Now, it's possible that this will go the way of tiny leaders and just sort of fizzle.
Yeah.
But with Wizards pushing it, because this was, essentially their idea, I don't know if it'll fizzle as quickly.
Yeah.
But again,
I think
it doesn't matter what I think as far as whether or not it's going to fizzle. It's just going to depend on if people play it or not.
Yeah.
I think that having Wizards behind it is going to make a big difference because you might also see some product associated with it.
Oh, almost certainly, yeah. Which is
ahead, Mike.
fine.
Yeah, if that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Mike? You sound
we've
like
butted you out like 4 times.
Yeah. Go ahead and speak already. Come on.
The most recent comment. I know one of the things that happened with Tiny Leaders, a lot of criticism that I heard and read from people was that at a certain point it just kind of turned into Legacy, and people weren't interested in messing with that.
Okay.
Interesting.
So I think just focusing on standard is really, really helpful because it's a lot easier for a newer player to throw together a deck, like was brought up earlier. And you don't have as much of because you don't have the 25-year long card pool, you don't have all of those staples that just keep showing up over and over again, and in some cases you feel kind of obligated to include or at least consider. Like, one of the reasons I don't actively solicit deck advice for my commander decks on Tapped Out anymore is because I'm just tired of getting the same responses of the people who say, oh, you need to play this, and this, when really the reasons I'm not playing those things is because I don't feel like it, and then my deck would just be every other deck in the world. And that's
the idea of like must-haves for each color in Commander makes me sick, because then you just homogenize the format.
Right.
And yeah, it's now.
So tightening up the card pool helps prevent that a little bit. There's still going to be some things that you're going to have to play. I mean, a deck with red in it is probably going to want to play. Oh crap! Is that
probably should
Abrade?
play crap.
Abrade, 3 damage to a creature, or you're probably going to want to do that if you're playing red. Fine, stuff like that, whatever. But there's not going to be a Soul Ring, There's not going to be an Azusa. There's not going to be a Demonic Tutor, stuff like that.
Now, what's cool about a new format like this is because Brawl is standard, but it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, true.
Like, you and your buddies can decide, dude, Brawl sounds awesome, but standard's stupid. Let's do modern Brawl. And that's totally a thing you can do, because you can. Like, you can do whatever the hell you want with your cards.
Yeah, or let's just do Ixalan Brawl.
Yeah, and that's a thing. So by introducing a new format and giving it a name, they've actually opened up any number of things. You can actually do a 60-card insane Commander-style Brawl and have it be, everything that's legal in Commander. That sounds like a nightmare, but you could do it.
Yeah. And I think it would be worth checking. I would probably try just the standard variant first.
Well, yeah, because that's what they had in mind.
But there's nothing saying, like you said, much like even in Commander, the bannings are suggestions. They're not mandatory.
Exactly.
Try it your own way. And if doing it another way makes it fun for you, then do the thing that makes it fun.
Yeah, fun is awesome. Fun is the whole damn point.
Yeah.
But if you're one of those people who is like super cynical and thinks that this is just a cash grab, that's fine. You can think that all you want. But don't go around crapping on people who think it's cool, all right? Just do us all a favor. Like, it's fine that you don't like it. It's also fine that other people do like it.
Yes.
Now, I know that these are probably falling on deaf ears because, as I've said so many times in the past, the Mana Pool fans are clearly just the best fan base ever. So they're not doing that. But there are those people out there. And, yeah, whatever. They're the same people who hate you because you like The Last Jedi. Whatever.
That was not at The Last Jedi. That was at anyone that hates me for liking The Last Jedi. Which, if you didn't like it, fine.
Yeah, good on you. I'm sorry that you had to sit through 2 hours of stuff you hated. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I picked on Frontier as a format. And look, Frontier, what happened to it? Nothing. But I didn't tell people that were like, Frontier's awesome, like, you're stupid. No, I just went, all right. It's fine for other people to like things. It is, trust me. I don't like Doctor Who, but I don't, like, yell at people that like Doctor Who. I yell at people who tell me I should watch Doctor Who for the 82nd time. Anyway, sorry, there's been a lot of like negativity about all of this from the Buy a Box promo, which I can understand where that one's coming from. Having cards that are only available as promos is kind of
Yeah.
But
the very first time they did that, they didn't do that for an extremely long time with the Nalathani Dragon.
Yeah, I was saying the book promos were
book promos too.
Were a big thing. But I mean, with there being a freaking Masters set every year and all kinds of reprints, it's entirely possible that at some point we'll get a Fire Song and Sunspeaker reprint, and everyone will be like, "Oh." Of course, then people will be like, "I had to pay $50 to get it from wherever." Well, sorry.
Yeah.
So whatever, you can't make everyone happy all the time, but just calm down. They're trying it out. If it turns out that it's actually a terrible idea, they just won't do it again.
Yeah. Now, it is standard legal, right?
Yes, it is standard legal.
Okay. I don't know if
which means it's Brawl legal, which is the target audience for this particular card, for Fire Song and Sunspeaker. But yeah. So that's all cool. And another cool thing about Brawl that I didn't think of myself, someone else pointed it out to me. It's a way to get a Commander-style game mode in Arena.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Isn't that cool?
Yes.
If they were to do that, that would be sick. Yay. By the way,
they have to have that in mind. That's really insightful.
Yeah, I don't remember who. I saw that several places, I think, on Twitter, or it might have been Bill and Clues, one of them. I don't remember, but either way, that would be neat. As an update on Arena, I did sign up for the beta. I think we recorded on Thursday. I think I did that on Friday last week. So if they see fit to send me a code, then I will start with the content creation on that, probably streaming just as soon as possible. But that's still an if. They were like, we have like 100,000 more keys to send out. Yay. And I was like, all right, I'll sign up. Fine. The other thing with Arena, why didn't I find this? I love the Magic website. Articles, archives. Turn to Dominaria promos, join the brawl. Hang on. No, that's the starting deck lists. Here it is. It's the one by Chris Clay. Not only did they lift the NDA earlier today, actually, but they've added Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation. So now we have full standard, right? No, Kaladesh is still in standard. Excuse me, sorry. But we have a whole new block. Because it was just Ixalan and Rivals of Ixalan. But now we've got Amonkhet and Hour of Devastation. So we've got a whole next standard. Because Kaladesh will rotate out with the next rotation. So I kind of doubt that those are going to show up.
Yeah, I mean, Kaladesh just has problems.
Well, that too, but... So, yeah. I also wonder, on a completely unrelated note, I wonder if things like, oh crap, standard banning, I wonder if that's going to, like, also happen in Arena? Would they just delete those cards and give you some currency or whatever?
Not sure.
Because
Maybe?
It's supposed to be, like, standard, right?
Yeah.
Or will it be its own thing? I'm just curious.
I don't know if it'll be strictly standard. I don't know if anyone knows that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if any public knows that.
I don't know if they know that. Like, at the moment, they're still focused on making it work right. So
yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it sort of seemed like the last incarnation of Duels at the outset was supposed to do that, but then it didn't. I mean, they switched some cards in and out.
Yeah, and they had the weird rarity thing.
But nothing rotated.
Well, they also had that weird rarity thing where...
Oh, yeah, that rarity
you could only have one of each mythic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, this is supposed to be a digital representation of paper Magic without all the stuff that goes with Magic Online. But just curious if, like, the Arena standard will actually gel with paper standard. Like, if... I really hope it doesn't come to this, but if they have to do more bannings at some point.
Right.
Or maybe they would just deactivate those, and instead of refunding your currency, to wait and see, because that can change too, will it maybe get unbanned? Although you don't usually see cards get banned in standard that get unbanned from standard, just because they're not usually in standard long enough. But who knows? They may open it up to modern. So
we think it's been long enough that it might be safe to reintroduce it. No, they don't do that.
It's been 3 weeks.
I really don't know if we'll ever see modern in Arena, just because that's so many cards.
No, but you could do like modern going forward.
Yeah, that's true.
So like their version of Wild, so to speak.
Yeah, it could be. Oh well, that's just me musing about something off the top of my head as it occurred to me. My bad. So are we done?
I think we're done.
Because that's all of the previews that we've got thus far. A couple of closing things. I mentioned Arena already. Okay, I signed up for the beta. Hopefully they'll send me a key. What was I going to say? Hang on. Oh, next week, hopefully. Wait, is it next week? Yeah, next week, hopefully we will have a special guest, a voice from the past, like from the long, long ago, who will be joining us, I hope. I messaged him when we started. I was like, dude, you still in for next week? And he goes, what time? I was like Thursday, 7:30 Eastern. He goes, all right, I'm in. I'm already on Discord. But you know how that sort of thing is? Like something could change. So I don't want to announce it. Okay, it's Eric of many names. I'll just go ahead and say it. We're really hoping to have Eric back next week because we mentioned him a few times, like on 500, and we missed him. And he had said recently, hey, I'm around this particular week. And I'm like, so hopefully we'll have Eric on next week. And now I've put it out there, so go hurry up and tell him you want him to come on, so hopefully nothing comes up. He is Eric MTGcast on Twitter. So hopefully he'll be here next week. Oh yeah, we got a preview card. What?
Yeah, buddy.
We will have that going out on April 9th. So that means early release people don't get an early release that week, but it'll be worth it because we have our own preview card. Yay! So that's awesome. So remember, Monday Night Magics is in 2 episodes. The episode that goes up on... It should be 601, right? Because next week is 600. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be 601 on April 3rd. Preview card there. And then April 9th, right here on the Mana Pool. Preview card there. It's going to be sick. We're live streaming Monday Night Magic 600. We talked it over. We decided, you know what? We can do that on the hundreds. So we'll... That'll be over on twitch.tv/themanapool. You should totally come hang out. We will talk about the Team Trios constructed format that's going on that weekend. Yay. Plus, we'll have a lot of Dominaria stuff to talk about, and I'm sure the Twitch chat will have us answering questions and whatnot. So yeah, 600. I've now... Actually, it's been a little while, but I started on episode 282, which means that at some point I crossed over to have done more Monday Night Magic than anyone else. Like, as far as the main host goes.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know how many I've been on, because back in the day I would periodically miss one here or there for sickness or misery or out of town or whatever. But, yeah, I think it was KYT actually asked me on Twitter, holy crap, you must have the record for, like, total number of podcasts. And I'm like, let's see. It's 501 of the Mana Pool. It's got to be 300. I don't think I've missed that many Monday Night Magic since I took over. So that's 800. Plus, who knows how many, like, one-shots and guest spots and other things. Yeah, I probably have the record. Which I didn't even think about until he brought it up. I'm like, wow, is that a thing I'm proud of? I don't know how I feel about that. But anyway, yay. Now I'm rambling. So, hey, how about some final thoughts from you dorks?
Let's see. Set looks really, really, really interesting. And I understand there's some naysayers about some of these things. There will be naysayers every time. Hopefully there's something in this set that appeals to you. Personal life, things are going along pretty well. I now have a lot more room in my outside freezer because we had just a fridge and the fridge has a freezer.
You finally got rid of that body, huh? I mean, what? I'll edit that. Don't worry about it.
Okay, good. I can't let that get out. And then, but we found that we just wanted to have more stuff in the freezer than we had room for because we wanted to try and eat in more and save things. And, sometimes you need a freezer for that, not for bodies. Those go in the backyard. So, wait, I'm a lawyer. I probably shouldn't say that. So,
I'll edit that out too. It'll be fine.
Okay, great. We eventually invested in just a big, like, standalone freezer in the garage. And actually, at some point, even got another fridge for out there just because we were having so much stuff. But we were going through it pretty well. But to be fair, a lot of the frozen stuff in the outside freezer, the big one, some of it we hadn't seen in a long time. It was just kind of full of stuff. But Carrie was getting ready to go to work the other day, I think on Tuesday. And she was heading out the garage and she came back inside. She said, the freezer door's open. And I said, what? She's like, were you in there this morning? I was like, no. And she's like, oh. And then we said some words, and luckily, Sam was right there. So we kind of, but we were
no swearing on Monday night. Wait,
because there's a lot of stuff in there. So she ended up going into work late. I took Sam to school and came back before I had to go to work. And we went through all of it, and we threw out a lot of stuff. We actually saved a lot more than I thought we might. So the bad news is it happened, and we did have to throw away some stuff that was still good. The silver lining is that we needed to go through it anyway, and now we have a lot more space in there, not for bodies, not for intact bodies. So, but otherwise, everything's going great. Still waiting to see Black Panther. I really, really want to see. I want to see Black Panther, especially with Carrie, and I'm trying to see if I can't get a promo for Redbox so she can see Thor Ragnarok, so that in a little over a month we are ready to go to the culmination.
Is it really that close? Holy crap!
Yeah, it's toward the end of April. Infinity War is coming, and it's what everything has been leading to. And we talked a little bit last time about, how I had to get Super Mario Brothers 2 before 3 because of, story reasons, and ended up not mattering. But how, I wouldn't want to see Infinity War had I not seen just about everything prior to that. Yeah. I think the only MCU movie I've never seen was the second Hulk movie, and who cares? The
second Hulk movie.
The one with Edward Norton in it.
Oh, the one that's actually part of the MCU. Gotcha.
Yeah, I saw the first one, which technically the second one actually builds off of the first one.
Sort of.
Kind of, sort of. They have some of the same actors, like the general guy, and it's implied to take place afterward. But they don't really reference a whole lot.
The general guy was a different actor, too.
Well, the characters in the movie. Anyway, they don't specifically override anything that happened in the first movie. They just also don't pay attention to it either. But my point being that I feel like I've really been looking forward to this. And, yeah. So I think I've covered magic and personal life and movies. I don't know what else there is. Work's okay.
Nice.
And while I hate to leave the two of you alone, as it's now almost 11 o'clock, I am going to punch my card and check out and clock out and all that good stuff. You gentlemen have a great night.
All right. Well, good night, B.
And I will totally listen to this later, so don't say anything I wouldn't approve of.
Fair enough. Who the hell says bodies go in the backyard? What a jackass. So how about you there, Beardy Man? Beardy Man.
Let's see. In a weird way, I'm glad that it's gotten as late as it has, because then that means I will not consider trying to do more work after we get off the call, because that would be stupid. Let's do it tomorrow.
I'm helping?
Yeah. Say what?
I'm helping?
Yeah, in a way. No. Sorry, work has just been really kicking my ass this week. It's been bad. Yeah, I don't have too much more thoughts going on. As always, it's really interesting to look at Dominaria and think about it. And the story episodes that they've released so far this week have been really interesting. And yet, I think it would be interesting for you to read it. So, spoiler-free, it's the non-Jace members of the Gatewatch getting back to Dominaria. And, of course, at first noticing, oops, where's Jace? And starts going from there. the focus turns to Liliana and Gideon, which is an interesting pair. Which kind of makes me sad that we never finished that last. Gosh, what was that series even called?
I don't know.
With all the different planeswalkers answering questions from the audience.
Oh, the Mythic Consultation?
Mythic Consultation, yeah, that's right.
That was a lot harder than people seem to think.
It was.
Like, to come up with something that was like 4 lines long, we would sit here for like 45 minutes or longer, agonizing over it.
Right.
It was awful.
And gosh, writing lines for Sarkon was... I had to like sit there and like put my head in my hands and get weird to come up with... to come up with that stuff.
Yeah, and then Mike would have like the crazy look in his eye for like 20 minutes afterwards, and I was kind of afraid to get close to him.
He's right. It does take a little while for the crazy to wear off completely. But yeah, I don't have anything more cohesive to say today.
Fair enough. Oh, right. There was one more thing. We've gotten several questions from multiple places about like which episodes of the show were about what things. And I'm gonna tell you all now. Like, we got an email about RPG episodes, and someone on Twitter was asking about, I think it might have been the old versus new stuff.
Yes.
And someone somewhere else asked about another thing that I now can't remember. But anyway, if you go to themanapool.com, where all of the entire archive of the Manapool is located, you can do a search. There's a search bar for things. And while that doesn't guarantee you'll find it, if you do find it on any episode that came out after we got the website, which I don't even remember when that was, to be honest, but like at least the last 5 years, I think. It's probably longer than that. It's almost certainly longer than that. But anyway, everything has been tagged as much as I can with whatever we talked about. So, hang on, there's a sneeze. Okay, excuse me, I couldn't get to the mute. Oh, God. Whew, that was a good one, Mike. Anyway, if you type in, like, I think it's MTG RPG or Magic RPG, then you'll find at least one of the episodes about it, and you can look on that post, and at the bottom of the post there are tags. And one of the tags, if you click on the tag, it'll show you everything that's been tagged with that. And it's the same. I don't know if the old versus new will show up because I don't remember how old those were. But if you search on, if I almost said Google, if you search on the Maniple website, old versus new, you'll get them all, and stuff like that. So it's all searchable. And I really need to take, God, like a week and just go through the archives and tag everything that hasn't been tagged. But that would probably literally take a week. I need to figure out a way to make podcasts easier to track down, but I don't know what that would be. So anyone with website experience or web design experience, help me out. How would you do that? Like, don't do it for me. Just tell me, with 500 episodes in the can, how do you make it easy to find that one? Like, to search for that one. Or if you want episode, 96, how do you make it easy than just going to podcast and like searching episode 96 or whatever? Like, there's got to be a way where I can like split them up by 50s or 100s or something and just make it easy to do. But I have no idea what that would be because that's not the way my brain works. Sort
of like how those little expandable menus on the side that'll be like, 2017 expands into the different months, and you can expand like June into post May during June or something like that, but something with episodes. Maybe? Like I said, I have no idea. Like, I've seen those on several blogs. I was thinking of making... Oh, okay, I see. Okay. Once you mentioned blogs, I know what you're talking about. But I was thinking of making like not like a pinned post, but like a page as opposed to a post on the website. Mm-hmm. That is like, episodes 1 through 100 and just have a list. And then the next one would be episode 101 through 200 and just have a list. But... that could work too. Like, that would be a nightmare to actually implement. It'd be pretty time consuming, yeah. Yeah, so that's why I've never done that, is because it would take ever, and I don't know if it would actually be worth the effort. So if anyone has any ideas for how to do that, please hit a brother up, because I don't know. But in the meantime, there's a search function there,
and you should be able to find anything that you want, hopefully. All right. So as for the rest of my final thoughts, that's pretty much it. Anything that you want to find that we do, you can find as The Mana Pool. So Twitter is at The Mana Pool. Facebook.com/The Mana Pool is how you can see everything that we do. TheManaPool.com is where all the podcasts go. I used to put everything there, but that was way too labor intensive. Just wait, like you wouldn't think just making a post for a YouTube video, but when you do a YouTube video, you know, every day, every other day, and you do the video, and then you have to go back the next day or two and make it public, and then like the next day or two make a post on the website. That last part just fell off so many times to where I just gave up. So TheManaPool.com is just the podcast now. Everything else, if you want to see the YouTube videos, guess what? Go to youtube.com/TheManaPool, and it's all there. I actually, in the next couple days, going up will be story time of how I fixed my internet and was able to stream again. Because I was so happy that I had proper internet that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to stream like 3 hours early. I decided to stream Hearthstone. But first, I told the story about what happened to my internet and the evils of ISPs and all of that. And I like to think I'm a pretty okay storyteller, and I enjoyed it so much that I cut it out and put it on the on YouTube as its own thing. And also, I got my second golden, later in that stream, I got my second golden hero in Hearthstone. And because that's a monumental occasion, I decided to make that a YouTube video. So the last, basically 3 matches that I had to do to get that went up as a YouTube video. And those were some weird games, man. Let me just tell you. To get a golden hero in Hearthstone, you have to win 500 ranked matches with that class. Like, my first golden hero I got was Hunter. The video went up in August 2016. I played a lot of Hunter back in the day. Like a lot. And then I haven't gotten one since, but I just got another one, and I should have another 2 or 3 over the next, month or 2, because I have several that are close to 500. And then the rest I'll get in another 2 years or so. So yay, long-term plans, I guess. But anyway, also the podcasts go up on YouTube. If that is more convenient for you to listen to, then you should totally do that. There are a lot of people who can't get to the website or don't have the capability to like listen to like an audio podcast downloaded or something at work. But if put it on YouTube, they can just plug in headphones and hit play and go, and it's fine. So I do that now. Yay. Anyway, also on twitch.tv/TheManaPool is where I play games live. There's a new hero on Overwatch and hopefully I'll be streaming that tomorrow. Hopefully. The plan was to do that on Tuesday and I couldn't because internet, and I was so mad. I was so mad, you guys. There's a new hero in Overwatch. We're all going to get together and play, and I can't stream because I couldn't because my internet was crap. Oh, dude, I was so mad. I joined up with Cap and Steph. And they're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I don't care. Get me in a game so I can kill things. And I went on this sick killing spree as a Reaper and felt much better. It's amazing how an edgelord with dual shotguns will just make you feel better when you're angry. Huh, who'd thunk it? But then Wednesday I was going to stream Overwatch, but they decided they were all going to play Sea of Thieves instead, and Bill wasn't available until super late. So Friday, the plan, of course, if you're hearing this, then only the early release people will get it. So never mind. I play Overwatch, I play Hearthstone, and I play lots of other nonsense over on Twitch. Those are the 2 big ones, but I also play other stuff all the time. Like Magic Arena as soon as they get me in the beta. And I think it was Stark Maximum who pointed out just recently, might have been last night, that I never finished The Walking Dead on Twitch. And I went, because it's a really depressing game, like The Walking Dead, the Telltale series. It's very story centric and depressing. It's really depressing. And I played through the first chapter, and I was like, all right, I'll go back to that later. And then I had some bad brain issues, and I was like, I can't play Walking Dead when I'm already depressed. I just can't. Because you have to be in a good mood when you start, so that you're only bummed out when it's over. If you start it bummed out or worse, it's not going to end well. So I put it off and put it off and put it off, and then it just sort of fell off my radar. So yeah, I've got to go back and finish Walking Dead. So that's the thing I'm going to do soon, is do some more Walking Dead streams. So I can't wait, because while they are terribly depressing, they're really good. Like, the actual story is so well written, and the characters are all believable, and human, except for the zombies. So yeah, it's really good. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Right. Mana Pool, yes. So all of that, twitch.tv/themanapool, youtube.com/themanapool. That's where we all are. If you want to help support what I do with all of this insane amount of content creation, 2 podcasts a week, and YouTube videos and Twitch streams and all that, the most direct way to do that is to become a patron at patreon.com/themanapool. If you want, you can get YouTube videos and Manapool episodes early, so that's cool. You can get the early stuff and the odds and ends, all the stuff recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool, where Mike and Brian and I talk more about Hearthstone before the show, and Bill and Clues and I talk more about whatever the hell we want before the show. And if you want, the odds and ends are uncensored and unfiltered and generally unsafe for consumption. And I have hiccups again. And if you would like, you can get the early stuff, the odds and ends, and become a lifeguard. Get it? Manapool? Lifeguard's funny. And get a shout out on both podcasts and get your name on the end screen for all the videos that go up in each month that you support at that tier. So to that end, I would like to thank the following exceptionally generous lifeguards: Kim Ho, Andrew Hunt, Al, Rafe Gall, Corey Cloutier, Paul David, Lance Delicious, Team U, Hellas Haryu, John Morris, Stuart Slaw, PJ McMullen, Bosco Bertain, Casey, Nathan Hay, Danny Liao, AJ Javieres, Cody Buckowing, Jake Jansons. Hey, I remember that guy. Episode 500 happened because he's awesome. Jason Kaus, Brian DeLucci, Stark Maximum. Hey, I remember that guy. He reminded me to play the depressing game. I don't think I like that guy. Jimmy Scott, Dan Holm, Mike Millerburn, and the Beast Father, Aaron Goodwine. Thank you all so very much for your support. I quite literally could not do it without you. And with that, I think we're finally done. Good Lord. So with that, this has been... Mike, I forgot what number this is.
502.
502. This has been episode 502 of the Manapool. Thank you all so very much for listening, and go play some Magic.